Spectrum Internet has enough speed to handle all your needs, so you can work, game, and stream with speeds up to a gig. Plus, Spectrum's advanced Wi-Fi provides enhanced security for all your connected devices. Get Spectrum Internet with fast and reliable speeds, starting at just $29.99 a month with a 2-year price guarantee. Visit spectrum.com/internet for you for full details. Offer subject to change, valid for qualified residential customers only. Restrictions apply.
Attention soccer fans, North Carolina FC invites you to be part of the excitement. Join us in our electrifying games with top-tier players, thrilling goals, and unforgettable moments. Experience the thrill of this beautiful game with North Carolina FC. Get your tickets now, northcarolinafc.com.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Hopefully you can spend a little time outside. Once again, our temperatures are comfortable and our humidity very low. We'll see sunny skies with a high of 87 and feeling great in the shade. A nice night tonight, too. Mid-60s, clear skies and low humidity. And the humidity stays on the lower side tomorrow, but it does begin to heat up. We'll see 92 under mostly sunny skies. And starting on the 4th of July, the heat and humidity come roaring back. We'll have some dangerous heat indices through the weekend.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 96 points to 39,266. Market update brought to you by Pure Hockey. Get ready to unleash your potential this season. Your Wake Forest Pure Hockey store has inventory of the top gear arriving from now through year end. Pure Hockey, your ultimate hockey headquarters.
Love guarded by Keels, gets a screen, pulls up for 3. Got it! Caleb from straight away! Jones with 1. Jones puts it up at the buzzer. Yes! He ties the game!
Joining with a long rebound, kicks ahead to Smith. 3-ball, right side.
Bang! Shotgun snap. Bryce Young, pressure off the backside. Throw to the end zone. Chark pulls it in with his fingertips.
And another chance, and the save's made by Anderson. And the fans will tell you, did you have a good night?
On Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox here along with us, producing the show. Yesterday was day number 1 of free agency in the NHL. A lot of stuff happened, a lot of moving parts. I think we're still missing the big move from the Carolina Hurricanes, but I think it's smart with a day's rest, with a little bit of sleep, to reevaluate your first reactions and see if you still agree with them. And actually, I think yesterday, much of the panic, the sky is falling, the Chicken Little, had to do with one specific thing for the Canes. But everything else, it's like 9 out of 10 things go right. Don't focus on the one. Maybe, try to paint the full picture. I like what the Canes did on defense. I like what they did. Gostisbehere coming back. Sean Walker, who, by the way, we're expecting to have on the show here within 15 minutes. So we'll be talking to one of the newest Canes. I like what they did on defense. And by the way, the actual pairings might change. You might move, Chatty around or something like that. But Burns, Slavin, Chatfield, Orlov, Gostisbehere, Walker as the 6 guys. And by the way, while doing that, saving money to spend on the forwards that you need for guys like Jarvis to get a long-term deal, for some of the other moves you made, that's good GMing from Eric Tulsky on the defensive side of the ice. When you get Gostisbehere and Walker for less than you would have had to pay just Shea, that's good GMing, right? That's you saw a lot of this with Gensel, where it's like, all right, if you're not going to give him that $9 million, how are you going to spend that $9 million? If you go, all right, you're not going to give Shea the $7 million a year, how are you going to spend it? And you're like, well, for a little bit less than that, I'm going to get Gostisbehere and Walker. Everyone goes, all right, fair, deal. Nice doing business with you. Move on. There's a lot of good. I like some of the, rounding out the roster signings. I like some of the rounding out the roster, like the hey, if you need a guy because there's a couple injuries or whatever. I like some of those signings. There's really just the one question I have. The one question. And we can phrase it two ways. One way would be, who's going to score the goals? Now I can hear you going like, well, Aho and Jarvis and Svech. Top line, I get it. So here might be the better way to phrase that question. Who is the second line of forwards? And where is the scoring going to come from that line? Right? Because let's acknowledge a few things. One, the top line is going to be awesome. You've secured that. You've drafted well. You've developed well. You've earned that. Once Jarvis is on a long-term contract, and I expect that to come, boom, bada bang, you're going to have at least 3 studs on your forwards for the next 5+ years. It's a great bedrock, a great foundation to build on. Let's also acknowledge that any line that is centered by Stahl is going to be a line that is focused on grinding the opponent's best scoring forwards rather than scoring their own points. Not saying they can't, but I'm just saying that's going to be a line that is, you can have a great day and leave that with a plus-minus of 0 for that line. Fourth line, if you listen to this show, I understand the value of depth, but I don't concern myself with fourth lines as much as some. I think if your top 3 lines are great, you can hide the fourth enough. There's not many fourth lines out there in the NHL that can take advantage of a fourth line that you might not be super confident in. So if we have all 3 of those things, right? You have the stud top line, the Stahl third line, and third line is just what you call it. It's really the grinding line. And then you have the fourth line filled out with hopefully some solid depth. That second line, who's scoring the goals? If you're putting Kuznetsov there, can you trust him to be leading enough of a point-scoring line and not having those blips, those moments where you want to tear your hair out? Is Kotkaniemi on that line?
Well, he's paid to be.
That's not what I asked. If it was by paid, is Necas on that line?
Great question.
Is he still there? That's the question I have. That is the question I have. And because goal scoring is that's not a Moneyball stat. You know what I mean? It's not like, hey, we can go look for goal scoring because no one else in the NHL is aware of how valuable it is, right? It's not like batting average in the early 2000s or on base percentage in the early 2000s where it's like everyone's paying attention to home runs and RBIs. Let's go get all the on base percentage guys. It's like you can't go and say like, oh, guess what? Free agency's winding down and there's all this hidden goal scoring that nobody else is aware to look for. There's not a lot of options for solving that. If you're an everything but team, have good defense, have good puck movement, have good defensive forwards, have solid goaltending. We have everything but, and anything in that but is goal scoring. It's not going to be a ton of easy fixes out there. So I can like most of what the Canes did. Carrier, I like. That's a forward that's signed. Might even see him, as we hypothesized yesterday, might even see him a bit on that Stahl line. I think he fits. I think he brings physicality, something I think they needed. I like a lot of the signings. But every time I say that, I am very, very tempted to throw a but in the middle of that sentence.
Yeah, who's your cleanup hitter?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, man, we just signed the best 7th-hole hitter in the league. And I'm going like, well, if you don't have a 3 and a 4, what are we doing here? All right, we got the 8th-hole hitter getting on base all the time. It's nice. It is nice.
Mm-hmm. Hey, he's going to grind out at-bats.
But
make the pitcher throw a lot of pitches.
Well, and yeah, exactly that. Like, by not having that second line score, and which, by the way, I know like many of you are saying, oh, you let Gensel would have pushed maybe a Jarvis to the second line. You put Jarvis on the second line with Kuzi, suddenly I'm way more optimistic. right? You put Jarvis on the second line with Kokiniemi, suddenly I'm way more optimistic. So what, like, it's I talk about this in football all the time. You get a number one wide receiver, suddenly a wide receiver that was a bust is awesome, right? Because maybe they're not good enough to draw the number one corner, but as soon as you get the number one and they get bumped down to the number two, look at that. Now they're getting open. Oh, look at that. The safety isn't over the top, so they're making that catch. I don't mind some of these guys when the defense has to focus in on a Jarvie or a Svetch. They've got to expend their resources over there. Then it's not as bad to be like, all right, Jack Drury, you're going to have to score occasionally, but here's your life preserver. Everyone's going to be focused on Jarvis while you're trying to score. That makes it easier for everybody. So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at yesterday for the Canes, and which, by the way, yesterday is like the culmination of the previous month, right? Like, is signing your restricted free agents to offer sheets and choosing which of your guys you want to stay and could have locked up beforehand. Like, it's a culmination of a lot of days. I'm looking at it and just saying this. I like it all, but who's going to be your depth scoring? Who's going to be your depth scoring? If anyone has the answer to that, I want to hear from you. You can go ahead and tweet it at me at Donnelly Sports, DONNELLYSPORTS. Right now, I want to tell you about my friends over at Window Nation. Tim Donnelly here for Window Nation. You guess what, everybody? Windows, they're one of those things, if you're like me, they quite literally become part of the background, right? And you might not realize that they're getting older and older and older because you just don't, like, it's not like my 3-year-old at home, we're doing the notches, the pencil drawings on the door jamb to see how much they're growing. You can't go up to your windows and be like, oh, goodness, look at this. You've grown 2 inches in the last year, because they don't do that. There might be a little bit more cracking in the caulking, a little bit more of the sealant not looking sturdy. That doesn't really happen with Window Nation windows, right? You can look at them and go, they look brand new. They look brand new. Lifetime warranty. So if they're not, go ahead and get them fixed up. It's hot out there, and the heating and cooling in your house, heating and cooling out of your house can accelerate some of those aging things. So if your old, inefficient windows are costing you hundreds of dollars a year in your energy bills, give them a call. Right now at Window Nation, you can buy 2 windows, get 2 free, plus buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus pay nothing with no interest for 2 years. The number to call is 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION. Or visit them online at windownation.com. That's windownation.com. As I said earlier, we are expecting brand new Carolina Hurricanes Sean Walker to join us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, fresh off signing a 5-year, $18 million free agent contract with the Canes. That's next.
Move your sports day forward.
It's okay to drive an old car. I have one. It's a 19-year-old car. But what do I do when I catch a nail? I just go get the tire fixed. What happens when my oil runs low? I just put new oil in. I don't go out and buy the new car. But maybe it's time for this team in this offseason to go buy the damn new car.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Join us. Wake County Public School System is hiring bus drivers, mechanics, and instructional assistants. Experience what it's like to be inspired every day as you drive our community's kids to and from school, maintain and repair our yellow buses, or support our great teachers out in the classroom. We offer competitive starting salaries, top-notch benefits, and many ways to grow in a positive, welcoming environment. Driving skills, mechanical skills, and kid-friendly skills are all welcome at Wake County Public School System. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net and explore an exciting new role with us.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
It won't be long before kids are back to school, and the Salvation Army of Wake County could use your help for its annual Back to School Bash. Every year, the Army's Project Catch program and the North Carolina Division of Child Development and Early Education partner to supply book bags with age-appropriate school supplies to Wake County children ages 4 to 18. You can help by donating new school supplies such as pens, pencils, notebooks, and more. Drop them off by July 26 at the Salvation Army, 1863 Capitol Boulevard in Raleigh. For more information, visit wakearmy.org.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
Avs at the end of their shift, though, almost dead tired. Fired ahead, Walker! Sean Walker is in, shoots, and scores! Walker!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Yesterday was an exciting day for the NHL as a whole, but the Carolina Hurricanes. And part of that excitement is now joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Defenseman Sean Walker, fresh off a 5-year, $18 million contract being signed at a free agency to join the Canes. He joins us. Sean, thank you very much for taking the time. I'm sure it's been a bit chaotic.
A little bit chaotic, but thank you for having me.
Well, let me be amongst the first to welcome you to Carolina, and we'll start with the basic part here. You had a nice season, really, really nice season for yourself last year. I'm sure you had options. Why choose Carolina?
Yeah, I think as it came down to it, it was just becoming clear that, the term that I wanted and the dollar value, that was kind of going to be the fit there. But even more so, you're getting the opportunity to come to a team like Carolina where they've been so good for so long now. And, they're going to make a push every year. And that's really appealing as I'm starting to get older, and to be able to sign a long-term contract and have that ability to be on such a great team every year. That was the boxes that needed to be checked, and it seems like it's going to be a great fit.
I'm curious about this because you spent the obvious beginning chunk of your career with the Kings out in L.A. Last year, time with both the Flyers and Avs. What is said about the Canes when you're in those other locker rooms and you're playing the Canes, or they come up in a conversation? Kind of what's the reputation that drew you here?
it's usually, oh God, we got to go play those guys again. It's never a fun night when you got to play the Hurricanes. The style of the play is in your face and fast, and so much talent, and they're hard to play against. It's never a fun night playing against the Hurricanes. So I've been saying it to all my friends and family. I'm really excited to be on the other side of things. So it's going to be a great fit, and I'm really looking forward to it.
We're talking with Sean Walker, one of the brand new Carolina Hurricanes after signing yesterday in free agency, defenseman. You've played in you've talked about this kind of Hurricane system. Some players or some fans think it might be a little daunting to play for the Canes and all the effort and everything that they're asked to do. Are you ready for that kind of adjustment and the system that Coach Brindamore asks the guys to play?
Absolutely. And, I think more and more teams are trying to adapt to that. And I think that's partly in a way because of the way the Hurricanes have played and the success that they've had. But yeah, I think of myself as a great skater, and I've always been on top of my fitness, I'd like to think. So I don't think there's going to be any issues there. And again, I think the way that I like to play the game and skate and join the rush and keep the pressure on other teams, I think it's going to fit perfectly. And I think I'm going to excel in the systems.
I saw you just had some other media availability, and one of the quotes was you think you're definitely a little offensive minded. Do you think there's obviously a history here in Carolina with the blue line getting the opportunity to score. Do you have your eyes on maybe a few more findings of the back of the net?
Yeah, I think that's something you always want to do, as long as you're not sacrificing defense, and I think that was something that going into this year, I kind of put the offensive thing in the back of my mind, actually, and funny enough, it leads to more offensive opportunities. When you're solid in your own zone, the puck gets out, guys make plays, you go spend more time in the other zone, and you get those opportunities. So, but I know the history of how well guys have done there, and I'm just looking to add and hopefully be a great fit there and contribute to a lot of wins.
It's interesting you bring that up, and we're talking with Sean Walker, one of the new Canes here on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, because you mentioned, statistically, especially when you look at point production, this past season was your best, even with a mid-season trade. Was that something internally for you, like you just mentioned, kind of your outlook, or was there something going on with Philly and Colorado that opened that up?
I think I was really given a great opportunity in Philadelphia to play lots of minutes, play with the top six forwards, and really get those offensive chances. That's something I might not have always been given when I was in LA. Obviously, playing behind Drew Doughty, there's limited numbers and minutes out there for everybody else. But so I just took the opportunity and ran with it this year, and felt good. I knew it was my contract year, and had to prove myself a little bit to everybody again, and I think I went out and did that.
Have you talked to any guys on the squad, and if so, what have they told you or welcomed you with?
Yeah, I've actually had a bunch of guys reach out to me, which is awesome. They're already making me feel welcome to the team, and they've just all said how great the area is, and you're gonna love Carolina. So I'm really looking forward to it, and the group sounds amazing. So I'm really excited to get down there and build relationships with everybody.
We started this conversation kind of with the reputation of the Canes, right, and why you're excited to play here. But there's also a definite feeling of change, or kind of a regroup this offseason, some names that the fan base is very familiar with moving on. Do you get the sense that you're part of kind of a new wave here, or a new influx of something that's designed to get them over whatever hump they haven't been able to get over?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously some key D-men moved on, and those are going to be big shoes to fill. But, I think we're up to the challenge, and, the other signings that they've had, I think are great additions as well. And I think it's just going to make us a deeper team as well. So I think, and I hope that we can make that next stride. I've seen how well they've done in the regular season. It just seems like there's just a little hiccup here and there and can't get over the next hump, but I'm hoping to be a big part of it, and that would be obviously a dream come true.
We're talking with Sean Walker, defenseman for the Canes, 5-year, $18 million free agency contract after spending last season with the Flyers and Avalanche. Sean, what do you know about North Carolina just as a place, right? Because sometimes we get caught up in like the hockey stuff, but you're going to come live here. What do you know about North Carolina?
Yeah, honestly, I'm doing research day in, day out right now. I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things, and I've heard people that play there want to live there forever. So I'm really excited to see what it's all about. But I've looked at some houses already, and the real estate just looks beautiful. The area looks beautiful. The weather is an upside. Really excited to get down there and just ingrain myself into the lifestyle for sure.
Well, just right along with that, how important was the 5 years on the contract where you can feel comfortable diving right into real estate and everything? And, I'm sure after last year, it probably felt like you were living out of a suitcase.
Yeah, it was definitely something that me and my wife talked about, and it was definitely something important to us that we would really try to get as much term as possible that we felt comfortable with and the team felt comfortable with. It's definitely a whirlwind, getting traded from LA to Philly to Colorado, and then now signing with Carolina. So we're definitely excited and looking for some stability here for the next while. And we really think Carolina is going to be such a great fit, and we couldn't be happier.
Well, I'll give you this opportunity. Feel free to use it or not. But there's 3 college programs here in the area between North Carolina, NC State, and Duke. That there's some fan bases here. Do you want to pledge your allegiance, or it's like being sorted into a house in like Harry Potter or something like that? Do you know which one you're going with?
I'm a college graduate myself, so my loyalties are to Bowling Green, Ohio. But come March Madness season, I think I might be with the Tar Heels. So we'll stay at that for now. But I gotta do some more research.
Okay,
I can't make a definite decision yet.
Preliminarily with Chapel Hill, we'll hopefully we'll
do that.
Hopefully we'll check back up with you after you get some time here and see if that rings true. But good luck with everything, and welcome to the area.
Awesome, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Once again, Sean Walker, defenseman for the Canes, 5 years, $18 million, one of a handful of very good signings for the Canes that are expected to make an impact this upcoming year. Spent last year with the Flyers and Avalanche in what ended up being statistically his best season, and he cashes in with a 5-year contract with the Canes. And preliminarily, right, kind of on a trial basis, UNC Tar Heels fan. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Right now here is our very own Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. Today, such a nice day outside. Had to take the motorcycle out once again. I got to admit, there was someone who was texting while they were driving, kind of cut me off a little bit. Didn't even notice I was there. But you know what? I made sure I was safe and I was doing all the right things out there on the road. But I knew if I ever got in an accident, who to contact. It's Law Tigers. And if you ever are injured in a motorcycle crash, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company, they just want to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers are riders too. So they understand, what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation always is free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, we had to push this back a little bit so we could talk to Sean there for a second. It's time for our next question in our series of 99 questions about the college football season. Stick around.
It's the summer of soccer.
Swiderski for Capetti. It's stolen away by Hack. Hit the line by Gaines. A shot. He scores!
All the saves.
Polina with brilliant, quick footwork across his 6-yard box to be able to recover and grab the strike from Kubo.
All the goals.
He just sends it back into the area for Swiderski. One touch. He scores!
The Triangle's home for Charlotte FC action. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle sports leader.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? you might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com. Ends 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Now at Circle K, get 2 Mountain Dews for just $4. That's 2 Dews for just $4 at Circle K. Do the Dew.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Sammy Hanna, owner-operator of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I tell people this all the time. If I am doing a commercial for somebody, I am vouching for who they are and what they do. You guys do great work, but your customer service stands above all the great work that you do.
Adam, I truly appreciate that testimonial. And yeah, we try to take pride in our customer service and meet and exceed our homeowners' expectations on all their home improvement needs. Obviously, there's many companies out there that do what we do. If you Google home improvements, Raleigh, you're going to get many companies. But you're not going to find too many companies out there that have a 4.9 rating and over 800 Google reviews and over 7,000 Guild quality reviews. It takes a lot of work on our part to make sure we meet and exceed all your expectations on customer service. And we're going to continue to do so because that's why we've been in business since 1961.
I have used the Aluminum Company. I have not heard anyone that had anything but incredible things to say about all of you, and that is amazing. That's a testimony to how you guys do it. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
The Adam Gold Show.
Here's the thing. The Hurricanes knew Jake Gensel's ask was 8 years, $8 million per for a while. It took them all the way to Thursday to go, okay, and by that point, it's too late. The market's about to open. Teams have already called to be interested, and that's how Tampa Bay steps in and swoops up Carolina's big prize.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Earlier today, you want to know what Graham did to me on Next Up? I'm reminded by this Rush song.
Okay.
So Graham Hill, our very own, sitting in for our very own Paul Ihander, who hosts Next Up every morning from 9 to 10. He asks me to come on the show, so I'm like, of course. We're going to chop it up about, some Canes stuff, some general stuff. So I'm with it. And during the commercial break, he goes, what classic rock song can I impress you with? I was like, I don't know. Surprise me. Then he played Rob Thomas from 2006.
Oh, come on, Graham.
I was like, no, you can't do that to me. You can't do that to me. That is a modern hit. That's this century. That is brand new. That is not classic rock.
This is Graham who plays Steely Dan.
That's what I'm saying. I was
like
expecting. I would have taken Rush. I was expecting Steely Dan.
Hit
He
me
plays
with a
some
Zeppelin
REO.
song,
He
man.
plays some REO Speedwagon. There's a lot of different ways he could have gone that I would have went. All right, that's a good pull. You can't go with 2005 and call it classic rock.
Come on,
just insulting.
The disrespect, Graham. I know you're listening.
But by the way, Graham's going to be on this show tomorrow with Dennis. I'm going to be out of here, so
yeah,
give him a hard time for it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's hit our next question in our 99 questions about the college football season series. I'm not sure everybody knew this, but yesterday, I believe, was actually the official you're a part of the ACC day to SMU, Cal, and Stanford.
Their birthday.
Their ACC birthday.
Yep.
Was yesterday. So in the world of college conference expansion and realignment and everything else, I'm sure it does feel like, hey, they're in. We're done. Woohoo, let's celebrate. But in actuality, it's like, all right, they're in. Who's next? If bleep hits the fan and we need to scramble and grab teams, or we need to get to 20 teams, or whatever it is, who's next? So that's our question for today about the college football season. Who's the next team to join the ACC? Not teams that are already in. Who's the next? I have 3 categories here, okay? The first category is made up of 2 teams, UConn and Kansas. Here's why I think they're a little bit interesting.
UConn and Kansas.
UConn and Kansas. Basketball schools.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone's going to debate us on that
Sure.
one. But they're investing in football. Both are putting big money into their football programs. So it's a bit like buying a penny stock. Because when football is all that matters, you look at Kansas. If you get Kansas in now, they're putting $500 million into their stadium, $480 million into their and facilities and weight room and everything else. But that's a commitment. UConn has Jim Mora Jr. as their head coach. That's not a coach that, he's been a head coach in the NFL. That's not a coach that you're just like, oh, yeah, an independent school has Jim Mora Jr.?
Yeah, it's not like we're just promoting some FCS guy up.
Yeah, exactly. They're in it. So getting, obviously, teams that will fit in basketball-wise, but also might be penny stocks that could explode on the football side of things. I think that's an interesting route to go. The next this is what I call the save me schools.
Okay, save me.
Which would be right now, the way I believe, and nobody knows exactly how the contract is worded, but I believe for you to continue getting your ESPN money, you need to have it's either 14 or 15 schools minimum in the ACC.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why they expanded to 18.
So obviously, if Florida State and Clemson bailed, they have these teams already in place. They backfill. But what if, say, UNC, Florida State, Clemson, Louisville, UVA, Virginia Tech, NC State, whatever, I'm just naming teams now. What if more than just a couple bail? I think then you're going to hear these teams called. Memphis, South Florida, East Carolina, Tulane. There's going to be more and more of that level of team that is called to be, we need you in by next year, or else ESPN's going to pull whatever money we have coming.
Hey, App. Yeah, what you doing, man?
Coastal, ODU, regional makes a little bit of sense, but really we can't be picky. Mm-hmm. That's that group. And then this last category, it's the big fish that could sway everything. It rhymes with Schmoter Dame. Notre Dame. If you can pull it off, it changes everything. By the best way that you could possibly try to get on even playing field. Is that a Freudian slip?
Is it?
On evil playing field with the Big Ten and the SEC? The best way that you can get on even playing field with the Big Ten and the SEC is to bring Notre Dame in. If you can get Notre Dame as a full-fledged member, suddenly the ACC can throw some weight around rather than just try to survive. They can be more proactive. They have another seat at the table. There's a lot looking at it there. A lot. So those are the next teams. Anyone I miss that the ACC might be eyeing? I also thought about, like, now that you're on the West Coast, do you just go Washington State, Oregon State?
I mean, yeah, you just kind of have, like, natural regional rivalries.
Just go give
That's
Stanford.
Like our West Coast pod.
Yeah, exactly. Then they can play each other every year, and they don't have to worry about travel as much.
Yeah.
I did consider that, but it just seems like if that was the thing, it would have already been done.
Yeah, you would think.
Like, if you're going to bring in SMU, why not bring in Washington State and Oregon State as you bring in Cal and Stanford? So, but that's still a possibility. So I guess that's a fourth category of, like, something just doesn't smell right about that one.
I'm definitely intrigued by UConn to the ACC, though. I think UConn's a natural fit to the conference.
I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense. Have them play Boston College every year.
Yeah.
Right? Syracuse. They need somebody up there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you got all those other Big East schools that came through, like Pitt, Syracuse.
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech, yeah.
Way back, Miami, Florida State. We just keep taking from the Big East. Somebody takes from us, we take from the Big East.
Yeah, exactly.
And bleep rolls downhill. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is 99 questions about the college football season. You guys are going to have 2 by yourselves. You're going to have to hit those while I'm out. I don't know what those questions are going to be.
I don't know. Great question. I don't know. We'll figure it out then.
So that's something we do every day. In the meantime, let's talk a little. This is the problem with the NHL and NBA having their free agency on the same day. Yesterday, because obviously we're a Canes affiliate and hockey town, we didn't get to talk nearly enough about the NBA free agents.
Very little.
We didn't get to talk nearly enough about the NBA's free agents. So I thought we'd do just some quick, immediate reactions now. And because we are a hockey town, we'll bring it right back to the Canes, learn some lessons. First of all, the most surprising thing of yesterday, it's to me like Stamkos leaving Tampa level. Klay Thompson going to Dallas. Klay Thompson, like, to me, he's the second most iconic Warrior of this era where they won 4 championships. He's the most ride for the Warriors player of the last 10 or 15 years. And what I mean by that is, like, every time you put together a big 3 or a big 4 in the NBA, you're going to need one guy that, like, probably could have had a greater individual legacy, but chooses to maybe roll down a little bit, right? Become more of a specific player rather than an all-around player. When Klay Thompson was young, he was seen as one of the best two-way guards in the league. He was defending the best perimeter threat every single night, and then on top of that, he was scoring a bunch of points.
Like an original 3-and-D guy, but like high end,
super high end. And I'm actually not sure if he does, like, if he gets drafted not by the Warriors with Steph, and then eventually Kevin Durant and all that. If he gets drafted by, say, the Hornets, I'm not sure he's even known as just a 3-and-D guy. He might have developed like an off-the-dribble game. But instead, he was like, no. Listen, I understand what I am. I understand where I am in this ecosystem. I'll be the best 3-and-D wing guy for a while, and I'll win. And the Warriors did not reward that selflessness by letting him age gracefully. This whole year was like a drama between them. So, relating it back to the Canes, I have to say this. If the Warriors can get over moving on from a Splash Brother, one of the 2 originals, I think we can handle, like, moving on from Brett Pesce professionally, right? By the way, this is how big a deal the Klay Thompson was. Do you know what is trending right now in the United States? Steph's IG. Do you know why? Because on Instagram, Steph posted a bunch of video or pictures of, like, a slideshow of him and Klay. And that's such a big deal. There's so many people talking about it on Twitter that Steph's, like, Steph 'S IG is trending on Twitter just because they're talking about that. If that guy's moving on, I think we can get over Brett Pesce moving on. I think he can handle that professionally. Right? And you can understand that in order to level up in other places, you might need to move on from a forever love guy. Oh, there we go. Little Boys to Men. Do you know what there's not enough of in modern music?
This guy talking?
Deep voices introing it with just, ooh, baby. Can you imagine if they had an intro like that and then went into like mumble rap? They're like, oh, yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Here we go. And and scene. The Sixers. The Sixers are all in. They signed Paul George at 34 years old to a 4-year, $212 million contract. That will probably, this is the contract that you're probably going to regret 2 or 3 years from now. Or not regret, but you're probably not going to like having on your books 2, 3, 4 years from now. But this is the contract I kind of want the Canes to do. I kind of want them to acknowledge 3 years from now, this won't be fun to have, but right now we're trying to win a cup. They're trying to win a championship, meaning the Sixers are. They're trying to win a championship this year. Do you know what actually might be the thing that's holding the Canes back? And this is a workshopped theory. We're doing it right off the top of the head. So, Dennis, you'll be the voice of the people. If it's completely ludicrous, feel free to tell me. I almost think that Embiid's injury history makes the Sixers operate as if their window is absolutely right now, right? Because they're not sure he's going to last with he's 7'3" and he's got this history. They're not sure he's going to be around 4 years from now. So it's let's win right now.
Yeah, how broken is he going to be in a few years?
And how much money will he be eating up on the cap, and how many games will he be able to play? So they're like, let's sign Paul George. If he's making too much money 4 years from now, we might not have anybody to play with him anyway. So if you look at the Canes, maybe the thing that's holding the Canes back from making that all-in deal is their core is so set up for the next 9 years, right? Because you look at Aho, you look at Svech, you look at Jarvis, hopefully Pyotr Kochetkov. You look at a few of these other guys that are locked up for 6, 7, 8 more years, hopefully Jarvis 8 more years. And you're almost too protective of that entire window to find any one smaller window that you want to go. Right? Of course you can't give Gensel 8 years and a bunch of money. Why? Because we need to make sure we're still contending in 2032. Right? When Aho's just 35 or whatever it is. Right? We need to make sure we're still contending in 2029. A team like the Sixers is oh, we don't worry about 2029. We're not sure Embiid's going to make it to 2027, so we're trying to win right now. Let's go give a 34-year-old $212 million. See how that works out. And by the way, there is risk here. If I'm not saying the Sixers are 100%, they might miss out on the championship the next 2 years. They might not be able to get past the Celtics ever, and then they're just going to be sitting there with some contracts they don't love and maybe a broken down Embiid 5 years from now going man, we really missed our chance. But at least they won't have the regret of not having gone for it. They'll have gone for it.
Jared McCain's going to be sitting pretty.
Oh, yeah.
This coming season.
Actually, that might be the thing. 4 years from now, it might be a broken down Embiid, an old Paul George, and Jared McCain just shooting the lights out because his rookie year, he got to cut his teeth in the NBA where all of the attention was on Maxey, was on Embiid, and was on Paul George, and he was just catching, shooting wide open jumpers.
He's going to play I feel he's going to play a lot this season because so much money's wrapped up in those three guys that you mentioned. Jared McCain is going to get a lot of looks, I feel this year. Just because you don't have the money to spend on other guys around. He's a first-round pick.
Yeah, and he brings a skill set that translates. I always say the two things that translate almost always are just flat-out shooting, catch and shoot shooting, and rebounding.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about rebounding, but if you're an unbelievable rebounder on a per-possession basis in college, you're usually a really good rebounder on a per-possession basis in the NBA. And the other thing is shooting. If you can knock down an open jumper, you can knock down an open jumper, especially if you played for a team like Duke, because it's not you were hitting shots in empty gyms and now all of a sudden you're in NBA arenas. It's like, no, I played in Madison Square Garden quite a bit, actually. I played in big arenas with fans that hated me every time we were on the road, actually. So it's a cool thing there. The other thing, and I had this thought when I was driving home because I was thinking about the NBA. Again, how sports nerdy I am. I talk for 3 hours about sports, and I drive home, and on the drive home I think about sports. Comparing the NBA and NHL free agency, max contracts make it so much easier on the GMs in the NBA. Max contracts make it so much easier. There is a level of player, say top 40 in the league, top 30 in the league, whatever it is, where you don't have to negotiate at all. You just offer them the max and hope they take it. And whether they do or not is kind of completely out of your hands. Like the negotiation for Jake Gensel coming down to how much more were you willing to pay, or how, like, you know, what's the difference between this team and that team willing to pay? All of that gets taken out of an NBA GM's hand. You just go, oh, you're a 40-goal scorer? All right, we're going to offer you as much as we are allowed to offer you, and hopefully you pick our max offer over whatever max offer you get from another team. I guess you could sit down and do like the PowerPoint presentation on like this is why we're awesome, but in actuality, it's like it takes it away, right? Like the Sixers offered Paul George 4 years, $212 million. Was that to outbid anybody else? No, that is the literal most they are allowed to offer him. It makes it so much easier. At least to keep the good guys around. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We may have to revisit this next topic a few times today. I started the show talking about the Canes free agency. And I said there's one thing they still have left me wanting more. Like what they did on the defense, like what they did on the back half of the roster. My question is, where's the scoring? Especially once you get off the top line, who's going to score the puck for the Carolina Hurricanes? Here's my question for you as a possible solution. Trying to be a solutions guy, not just a problems guy. Is it the forwards in the minor league system? Do the Canes know something we don't know about Bradley Nadeau, their first-round pick from a season ago, Felix Unger-Sorum, their second-round pick from 2 seasons ago, who's still, I believe, 11 years old? And I'm only exaggerating a little bit there. He's 18 and won't turn 19 for a while. Jackson Blake, who's what was it? Was he a second rounder last year?
No, he was like a fourth rounder a couple years ago.
Hobie Baker finalist, though.
Mm-hmm.
60 points in 40 games. Yeah, Hobie Baker's like the college Heisman for hockey. Felix Unger-Sorum been playing in the Swedish Hockey League. Bradley Nadeau, 46 points in 37 games at Maine, known as a lethal shooter. And by the way, Canes prospects on Twitter with the stats and everything that I cite here. Give him a shout out, give him a follow. I like those to me are the three defensemen the three rookies that are most likely to make a big impact next year now. And if you would have asked me a week ago, I would have said, no, definitely a defenseman. I really thought the third pair of defensemen would depend on a rookie, whether they could get Nikishin out of Russia. If not, probably Scott Morrow. But now they might be leaning on the young guys or a young guy to get the goal scoring that I'm so desperately searching for. Because that would explain, right? If Eric Tulsky is looking at one of those three guys or some combination of those three guys as NHL scorers, that would be a reason why I'd be going like, where's the scoring coming from? And they'd be going like, just wait till you see what 20-year-old we have to show you next. And I'd be going, I don't know, but they'd be convinced. Or what about this? What about next preseason? They just Game of Thrones it.
Oh, okay.
They just say, like, probably Felix Unger-Sorum, because you were in training camp last year. You're on the NHL throne right now. Mm-hmm. You two guys, through your work, can knock him off the throne. You can go get the Iron Throne.
Okay.
And just say one of you is going to be given up minutes and opportunities to score at the NHL level. How you play over the, 3 weeks, however long you want to set it in the preseason, is how we decide which one of you it is. And then, start him on the fourth line, but if you see flashes of something, put him on the second line. If it's Jack Drury and whoever else you have up there, Martin Necas, and you throw one of the young guys up there, deep end kind of teaching to swim.
We always hear about how deep the Canes prospect pool is. Eventually, you're going to have to dip into that at some point.
I always assumed they would cash in by, like, moving 3 of them for an all-star.
Yeah.
But I guess you can cash in the old school way. You can just play them.
I mean, you did with Seth Jarvis.
And that's kind of what I'm talking about with Game of Thrones. Seth Jarvis, once he gets on the ice, is like, I dare you to take me off, right? I'm just going to do so many good things that even somebody like Rod Brindamore, who obviously leans veterans, and rightfully so. I think most coaches are that way.
Sure.
Like Seth Jarvis is out there being Seth Jarvis off the ice. And then when he gets on the ice, and what I mean by that is like, youthful energy, exuberance, having a good time. Once he gets on the ice, he's like, no, I'm playing like a veteran. You can't take me off. I want to see which of those 3, Bradley Nadeau, Felix Unger-Sorum, Jackson Blake, the young forwards that everybody's so excited about, which of them are going to get on the ice and are going to say, like, I'm not letting you take me off, right? It's the pitcher that goes out there like, all right, let's see if you can get through the inning. And then, like, strikeout, and you're like, all right, let's see if we can get through the next 6 innings. Like, I don't know. If you're going to keep striking guys out, we're going to leave you out there. I want to see one of these guys seize the opportunity and maybe be the goal scoring that we so desperately covet. Maybe. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here to tell you about the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. They have all of these partnerships with some of the best brands in watchmaking and in-house movements, just beautiful dials, statement pieces on your wrists. But they are also the largest selection of pre-owned timepieces and the largest selection of pre-owned and vintage Rolexes in North Carolina. When you walk into Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh, you turn right, you walk all the way to the right. There's going to be a different vibe, kind of a cool vintage vibe in the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. If you walk straight ahead, that's where they keep the case right there that you'll be looking at right across the room is where they keep their pre-owned and vintage Rolexes. And if you are interested in pre-owned and vintage Rolexes, I encourage you to stop by every once in a while because sometimes the Grail, right, the Grail watch that you've been seeking forever, it'll pop up. But it definitely won't be there for long. So you need to stay updated. You can put yourself on a wait list for a specific watch if you know exactly what you're looking for. But if you're in the market, you know how quickly those things can move. So just stop out and say hi. And when you're there, make sure you let them know you heard about it right here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh. Again, you heard about it from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, football at 4. A question about the Panthers inspired by Party Marty. Jordan Martinook, stick around.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Dave Doran and the NC State Wolfpack have somehow turned their buzz, turned their sizzle into an offensive version of that. For so long, it's been winning with defense. It's been Tony Gibson, their defensive coordinator, Peyton Wilson. Well, now they can't turn away wide receivers and running backs from the recruiting and transfer portal. Maybe it's a new Dave Doran. Maybe offense first.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Did your mobile provider just increase their prices again? Switch to Spectrum Mobile, the nation's fastest growing mobile provider. With Spectrum Mobile, you get unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G. Switching to Spectrum Mobile has never been easier. We'll pay off your phone balance up to $2,500. Stop dealing with price hikes from your cell phone company. Get Spectrum Mobile. Visit spectrum.com/itpays-to-switch for full details. Offer subject to change. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Are you looking for a place to take the whole family? Somewhere affordable that provides a ton of entertainment and good food? Well, let me let you in on a little secret. You can get all that and more at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. They have something for every member of the family. Let the kids play in Woolly World and meet Woolly Bowl, and the adults can grab a tasty craft beer. Plus, you don't want to miss their unbeatable fireworks shows. Go to durhambulls.com/tickets or call 919-956-BULL today.
It won't be long before kids are back to school, and the Salvation Army of Wake County could use your help for its annual Back to School Bash. Every year, the Army's Project Catch program and the North Carolina Division of Child Development and Early Education partner to supply book bags with age-appropriate school supplies to Wake County children ages 4 to 18. You can help by donating new school supplies such as pens, pencils, notebooks, and more. Drop them off by July 26 at the Salvation Army, 1863 Capitol Boulevard in Raleigh. For more information, visit wakearmy.org.
Window Nation can help beat the heat in your home with a buy two, get two free offer on insulated, energy-efficient windows, plus 0 down and no interest or payments for 2 years. Schedule an in-home estimate now at 866-90NATION or windownation.com.
Attention soccer fans. North Carolina FC invites you to be part of the excitement. Join us in our electrifying games with top-tier players, thrilling goals, and unforgettable moments. Experience the thrill of this beautiful game with North Carolina FC. Get your tickets now, northcarolinafc.com.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's bow time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and have you back on the road before you can count all the change in your center console. Cha-ching, baby! Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Hopefully you can spend a little time outside. Once again, our temperatures are comfortable and our humidity very low. We'll see sunny skies with a high of 87 and feeling great in the shade. A nice night tonight, too. Mid-60s, clear skies and low humidity. And the humidity stays on the lower side tomorrow, but it does begin to heat up. We'll see 92 under mostly sunny skies. And starting on the 4th of July, the heat and humidity come roaring back. We'll have some dangerous heat indices through the weekend.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 162 points to 39,331. Market update brought to you by Gregory Pool Equipment Company. Gregory Pool Equipment Company is hosting a hiring event at their Barrel Road location in Raleigh, July 13th from 9 a.m. till noon. Paid training and a generous benefits package. More info at gregorypool.com/careers.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, our YouTube live stream is going as always, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Dennis needs somebody to go fight a fight for him.
Whoa, hold on. I never said anything like that.
Well, I'm saying it.
Oh, just in the chats?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying like someone drop a pin, give us an address. We need to go throw blows. No, Dennis is known on this show as a Jack Jury guy.
Yeah.
Somebody in the YouTube comments doesn't love themselves some Jack Jury.
No, there's some people that there some Jack Jury hate.
Jack Jury hate. So if you are part of the Jack Jury army, if you are part of the Jack Drury truthers, the believers, like Dennis is. And Dennis, correct me if I'm putting words in your mouth. Yeah. You may have to go defend your boy in our YouTube chats.
That's fine. I think mostly it's saying like Jack Drury's not built to be a second line center. I was like, well, yeah, he wasn't supposed to be. But when Gasperi, Kokiniemi, and others aren't playing like second line centers, well, you got to promote the next guy up.
I think he's supposed to be one of the league's best fourth line centers.
Yeah, third, fourth line.
I think that's what he's
built to do.
That's his role.
Mm-hmm. And that's okay. You need those guys.
But like a spare tire, right? Like sometimes you got to drive with one of them. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
and he actually played pretty well in the playoffs as a second-line guy.
You don't put the spare tire on because all the other tires are doing well. You put the spare tire on because one of them exploded.
Jack Stokes on the YouTube Live said, "We love Jack, damn it."
There we go. Let's start just what would be the funniest like civil war of Canes fans would be the pro Jack Drury and the anti Jack Drury crowd. Of all the people you could legitimately argue out, you could legitimately argue about Martin Necas, who has his family at least has voiced some things that could be perceived as like fighting words. You could I think Kuzi is a guy that makes Terry hair out occasionally because he does the good, but he also does kind of the boneheaded. We could talk goalies. Do we want to start that war? No, that's not the war we want to start. We want to start the war of Jack Drury.
Hey, but we're all on the same side.
Jake Gensel is just a jackwagon.
We're all on that
common enemy. By the way, we're going to talk about the Canes schedule later. Game 1 and Game 2.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Home and then away. Tampa and Tampa. Jake Gensel and Jake Gensel. Them's be set up well for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there you go. We'll continue to talk about the Canes as the show goes along, because how can we not? But right now it is football at 4. So we're going to have a Canes-inspired question. Who is the Jordan Martinook of the Panthers? By the way, and I don't know if this is public, I don't even know if I'm supposed to promote it, but I'm not going to be here tomorrow, so I don't think I can get in trouble if it's not. Jordan Martinook's going to be on with Adam Gold tomorrow.
Excellent.
They told me during the little shift here during the commercial, or at least Jordan's expected to be on with Adam Gold, which I think is crowd favorite stuff. Everybody loves Jordan Martinook. That's kind of what I'm talking about, though. Of the players returning for the Canes, Jordan Martinook is everybody's favorite. Do you know why? Because he's the only one. He's the only unrestricted free agent that is returning to the Canes. He is seen as much, and he is a good player, don't get me wrong, and he has a skill set that plays well, and if the Canes wouldn't have brought him back, he would have had many suitors on the open market that want what Jordan Martinook brings to the table. But to the Canes, he brings a little bit extra, right? To the Canes, he brings leadership. To the Canes, he brings, I talk about it as like one of the keepers of the culture. He talks about one of the guys that knows what's up. Who is that for the Panthers? Who is the guy who, in negotiations, his agent is legitimately saying, yeah, but you're going to give him a little bit of extra because of what he means to the team? Right? Who is that guy for the Panthers? And by the way, that's an important question to ask. You need those guys. Dennis and I were discussing this earlier. We came up with Shaq Thompson. I think that's the only answer. He's the only one that makes any sense. 10-year NFL vet, been around for a long time.
He's seen the ups and downs of that franchise.
Seen the ups, and the downs.
Yes.
And I actually think maybe last year, as they severely underperformed expectations, I think we may have underestimated the impact of what him getting hurt did.
Yeah, because he got hurt, second game of the year?
It was early, and it felt like you were going to need a couple Shaq Thompson pump-up speeches to, 3 or 4 times later in the year. And as somebody that played college football, I can tell you, you can use the injured guy pump-up speech once. You can be the guy on crutches saying, like, I wish I was out there, one time. After that, it's like, leave the speeches to the people in pads that are going to go out there and play. You can only cash that in one time. I think they missed Shaq Thompson's leadership. And I also think just how difficult it is to answer that question, who is the Jordan Martinook of the Panthers, shows how far they have to come as far as building that locker room back. Think about the good Panther teams. I'm talking about the Cam Newton peak Panther teams. Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, right? Offensively, Greg Olsen, Cam Newton, Williams, Stewart, Khalil, right? Go further, like Steve Smith. You're going to have so many guys that can be the keepers of the culture. So, like, if all right, Steve Smith's hurt today, Greg Olsen might be a little bit more vocal. Shaq Thompson's hurt today. Who we leaning on, fellas? Who's going to step up? Shy Tuttle ready? Like, it's a tough one. That shows what Dave Canales has to rebuild. And it shows, by the way, one of the biggest flaws in Matt Rule's handling of the organization and then Scott Fitterer and Frank Reich's handling of the organization. Matt Rule did a lot of college stuff, right? Just, hey, recruit the best players. Bring in the guys I know. Did you think about how that would look? Remember, like, how they were the Temple Panthers for a while? The Baylor Panthers? It was everyone Matt Rule had a previous relationship with. That's not good in a locker room. Right? You don't want players that feel like, oh, there's the coach's favorites and then the others. The guys that played for him in college and then the others. Frank Reich, I mean, look at the coaching staff. They didn't worry about the coaching staff knowing each other. They just went around like an all-star team saying, we'll get the best offensive analyst, we'll get the best coordinator, we'll get the best position coach, we'll get the best. Be darned if they like each other. You need the guys that make sure they like each other. And that's what I think the Canes have in spades, right? Mm-hmm. If Jordan Martinook moved on, they would have had other guys that can step up.
Easily.
If Shaq Thompson gets hurt, who fills that role for the Panthers?
Yeah, we saw that last year.
That's what I think it was underrated. Mm-hmm. And if you ask, like, especially last year, maybe this year's a little different. If you would have asked, like, Bryce Young to step up, it's like, buddy's got enough on his plate already.
Yeah.
And
head's already spinning.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know what a great NFL locker room looks like. I love hearing from, like, journeymen later in their career when they go on their first, like, post-retirement podcast and spill all the beans, and they just talk about, like, man, when I joined the Chiefs for those 2 years, it was like a whole other world, because I'd spent my first years with the Jags and the Raiders, and it's just like, gosh, you don't even know what it's like until you get in one of those good locker rooms. There's a lot of people on the Panthers that don't know what it's like when you get in one of those good locker rooms. Mm-hmm. So it's like you can't even be the thermostat. The thermometer telling everybody what the temperature is. You're like, I don't know if it's hot or cold in here. I don't know if it's too hot and boiling. I don't know if it's too cold and freezing because I don't know what the right temperature is. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break. But first, Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Loan Pronto. Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. I'm talking no credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners, they're turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You could get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Cop or drop? We put the biggest stories to the test and decide whether we're copping or dropping. Coming up next.
Move your sports day forward.
It's okay to drive an old car. I have one. It's a 19-year-old car. But what do I do when I catch a nail? I just go get the tire fixed. What happens when my oil runs low? I just put new oil in. I don't go out and buy the new car. But maybe it's time for this team in this offseason to go buy the damn new car.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's bow time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event when Dave, the sales guy, asks, "Want to test drive the Rogue?" And I'm like, "Let's go." We're driving when Dave says, "Check out the VC turbo engine." I hit the gas and whoosh. I'm like, "Okay, I wasn't expecting that." Dave goes, "If you think that's cool, watch this." Dave shows me the miles per gallon and I'm like, "Whoa, that's pretty impressive fuel economy." Dave mentions, "These new cars are going fast." And in that moment, I had to have that Rogue. Crazy, right?
Wait till you hear how I got my Sentra.
Get up to $1,000 July 4th bonus cash on select 2024 Rogue trims. Shop the Nissan sales event. Visit your local Nissan store and nissanusa.com today. 2024 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city, 34 highway to 30 city, 37 highway for 2024 Nissan Rogue. Actual mileage may vary. $1,000 July 4th bonus cash on 2024 Rogue Platinum. $500 July 4th bonus cash on 2024 Rogue SV and SL trims. Available on lease or purchase from new dealer stock. Contact dealer for details. N7824.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
New $80 million cash blowout and triple red sevens mean new winners. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds winning range from 1 in 4.28 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
It's the summer of soccer.
Swiderski for Capetti. It's stolen away by Hack. Kept alive by Gaines. A shot. He scores!
All the saves.
Polina with brilliant quick footwork across his 6-yard box to be able to recover and grab the strike from Kubo.
All the goals.
He sends it back into the area for Swiderski. One touch. He scores!
The Triangle's home for Charlotte FC action. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Text keyword OAR. I feel like I have to say it that way. Keyword OR?
Yeah. Well, you can misspell that.
OAR. To 919-860-5326 to enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see OAR.
Nice.
So just the way it's spelled in front of me is the name of the band is O.A.R. The keyword does not have the periods. So it's just OAR. I'm trying to make sure nobody texted in incorrectly. Text keyword OAR with no punctuation and no spaces to 919-860-5326 to enter for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see OAR at Red Hat Amphitheater on July 16th. That is keyword OAR, spelled or like a boat paddle, to 919-860-5326. Now let's get into Copper Drop.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
Copper Drop. Dennis makes predictions, guesses, ideas. He throws it all at me. I tell him whether I'm copping or dropping. Dennis, what do you got?
All right, let's go right to it. Carolina Hurricanes 1. Cop or drop, a rookie will be in the opening night lineup for the Carolina Hurricanes this season. Cop or drop?
Copping. Somewhere on the fourth line in the forwards.
Okay.
That is where I'm going. Which, by the way, I don't think is like, I said that very confidently. Like, boom,
you
bam,
did.
Cop it.
You're like, nailed it.
I don't think it's that obvious. We were just talking about how many players they just have signed. And they're to get one of those rookies in, a vet will probably have to clear waivers and be thrown down to the AHL. I'm optimistic about the three forwards we talked about earlier in their system: Bradley Nadeau, Jackson Blake, Felix Unger-Sorum. I think one of them will impress enough in the preseason to say, you're putting me in and you're not taking me out.
I think Unger-Sorum has the leg up because he was in training camp last year. Looked good, kind of turned a lot of heads of the World Juniors, but he also played in the Swedish Elite League, the Swedish Hockey League, against grown men, which kind of gives them the leg up. It's like, oh, okay, I understand the physicality of playing against someone who's 25, 26 years old,
strength,
as opposed to just playing college guys.
I'll throw this out there as well.
Or even juniors.
We were talking about it off air. He's also too young to go to the AHL.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
So it's either go back to Sweden, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or be in the NHL.
Yeah.
So
kind of think about this. When Seth Jarvis was a rookie, he was too young to play in the AHL. So it's either he stays with the big club or you send him back to juniors.
Yeah, which
that would have done him no good.
Yeah, just score 7 goals a game.
Yeah.
And just put together a heck of a highlight film.
Pretty much.
But so it's, I think he gets the leg up almost because if it's close, you lean towards him because Jackson Blake is close. You can always put him in the AHL for a little bit and let him, I'm thinking with Scott Morrow, the defenseman, he's going to be playing 20-something minutes, maybe even quarterbacking a power play or something in the AHL. So that can be something where he develops a ton by being on the ice rather than playing 11 minutes in the NHL. So I lean Unger-Sorum as well, but I think one of them will be in that opening day lineup.
All right, next one here. Armando Bacot in a podcast. This actually came out earlier today, only about a couple hours ago. Armando Bacot, formerly of North Carolina, UNC basketball, said he made over $2 million during his time at Carolina. Name, image, and likeness deals and such.
Do we have this clip? Can we play it?
Let's go ahead and play it.
How much you make at Carolina?
I would say.
You can't say the no. You can't say the no numbers.
I can say $2 million plus.
You made $2 million plus.
$2 million plus, yeah. But I'm saying that humbly though. But that speaks on the brand of Carolina because if I didn't go to Carolina, these doing deals with TurboTax, all those people, they wouldn't do it with me. But I go to Carolina, so I'm able to. If you go to Carolina, this with recruits, anything. You go to Carolina and you handle business, you go out there and play, somewhat be marketable, and stuff like that. It pays, and that's what I'm saying. I could never say a bad word about Carolina and everything, because I got life changing money. I'm from Richmond. I got life changing money.
Sure.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Cop or drop, a player will stick in college at UNC for 4 years and forego going to the NBA knowing they can make that money. Cop or drop?
I'm going to cop.
Okay.
But see, the thing is, I used to think it would be the big men. I used to think it was going to be the back to the basket post. But now the NBA is swinging back that direction.
That's true.
There's the Timberwolves have 2 centers. The Blazers have DeAndre Ayton and then drafted Donovan Clingan. The Jazz have Walker Kessler and then drafted Kyle Filipowski. So there's
and signed Armando Bacot.
And have Lowry Markkanen. It's starting to get to the point where you need to have 2 centers that you can play at the same time. So maybe not the 7-foot centers, but the guys like R.J. Davis, if you're 6'1", 6'2", and it used to be go pro, try to, be a second unit point guard and grind, I think the RJ Davises, the Caleb Loves, they're more likely to hang around. The Jeremy Roaches, they're more likely to hang around and exhaust their eligibility because you can make good money in college if you're at one of those programs, right? You heard Armando. I actually like the humility of Armando Bacot. I think a lot of young basketball players would say, like, no matter where I went, TurboTax would want to do deals with me because I was going to be putting up 25-13. Like, he was like, nah, North Carolina brought a lot of that attention. And, that's partially why I got to make $2 million+ during my time in college. So, I think guys will hang around for the money.
Yeah, he continued on to say a little bit further in the conversation. We didn't play the full clip. He said, it's because of the UNC brand.
Yeah.
Because it carries so much weight. Being at UNC
He also said he grew up a big Duke fan, and he didn't think he'd go to UNC on this podcast. I was listening to it earlier. Mm-hmm. He said he was a big Jahlil Okafor and Jabari Parker fan. And my first thought was, you didn't play against those guys? Felt like you were there. Felt like you were there, 12 years at UNC? You had to have played against Jahlil Okafor. That's a joke about Armando Bacot being old. And also, Jahlil Okafor felt like he should just be entering his prime in the NBA right now, but didn't work out that way.
Same with Jabari Parker, too.
And that comes from, Jabari Parker was injuries. I still think
he was all just because of injuries.
I still think he had talent, but Jahlil Okafor, as a Sixers fan, boy, when they drafted him, I was like, let's go. Didn't end up working.
All right, next one here.
Side note, just me venting about my old frustrations.
The Carolina Hurricanes opened their season on a Friday night, Friday, October 11th at PNC Arena against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Jake Gensel is just a jackwagon.
Cop or drop. Canes fans booing Jake Gensel out of the building.
I think they boo him. I don't think it'll be the loudest boo we've heard.
Oh, you don't think so?
I don't think there's enough time in.
I don't know.
He wasn't here long enough.
I
think they're going to boo him. I just think
you were going to commit to this relationship, and all of a sudden you're dating someone else? You were talking before we even split? Come on now.
No, I'm not defending it.
Oh, I know.
But I think there's other boos. You got to save your best boos for other boos. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I say open it up. Game 1, let's go.
Game 1 and Game 2. How about that? Travel to Tampa.
Yeah, exactly. When everyone, October 12th, that's Saturday, down in Tampa, booing Jake Gensel.
Silent treatment in PNC, and then the whole crowd just goes to Tampa and boos him at home. That's how you really get in his head. Let's play chess, not checkers. But no, I mean, I'm fine starting the rivalry. Like, there's already a little bit there. If Tampa wants to do that, you know what they should do?
What's that?
Chant Stamkos when Gensel gets announced.
That'll get him.
Should have been Stamkos. Doom, 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 doom. Really get into his head. Start chanting at Hedman. Where's your best friend? Doom, 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 doom.
Nah, it's just boo Jake Gensel.
Yeah, that works too.
All right, next one up here on Cop or Drop. A former NBA All-Star, 4-time NBA All-Star, Kemba Walker officially announces his retirement from the NBA. Didn't play with anyone this past season. Cop or Drop, he should go into whatever Hornets Ring of Honor that they have.
100%. He is Ring of Honor complex.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that listen to the show, you know I like to name my theories. One of them is the Ring of Honor complex, which is there are some of the best players to ever live, right? The top 1% of the 1%. Some of them are not Hall of Fame caliber players, but they are Ring of Honor for their team. In football, I think Tony Romo is this way. Donovan McNabb is this way. Maybe somebody like Matt Ryan is this way, where it's like, no, you're not in the Hall of Fame, but you're in your team's Ring of Honor. So
doesn't mean you weren't great.
No, so it's actually, I'm glad you asked the question as, should he go into the Ring of Honor? Because now I get to be complimentary and say, yes, he's the leading scorer in Hornets history. He multiple time All-Star, all those things, big shots. If there are any of that era, he hit them. Like, I get to be affirmative. If you would have said he should go into the Hall of Fame, then I would be negative, and I'd have to say no, even though I think he's a Ring of Honor player, which is really a compliment. So, put him in the Ring of Honor. He was really gosh darn good with the Hornets. You wish there would have been a better team around him. You wish the injuries didn't catch up to him. And by the way, this is what I'm talking about. Right? Dennis, you know I don't like tribute videos.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Kemba Walker went on to play for other teams. He went and played for Boston, whatever. He bounced around. He went and
played for Dallas last.
Played for other teams. When he comes back, you don't cheer him. He's on another team trying to beat you. Now that he's announced his retirement, sign him to the one day, bring him to the first game of the year next year, trot him out at halftime, make him get tears in his eyes, have him bring out his family, play the tribute video, do it all, because he's not trying to beat you anymore. Now you can honor him. So, yes, right now should be a great time for Kemba Walker. Injuries really ruined the end of his career, but right now it should be all adulation and all praise because he's not a part of the other teams anymore.
All right, next one up here. Go back to little Carolina Hurricanes. Cop or drop, we see deal for Jack Drury, restricted free agent who got a qualifying offer. We see a deal for Jack Drury completed by the weekend, or by the end of the weekend, so by Sunday. Cop or drop, Jack Drury has a new deal.
I'll cop it.
Okay.
You know what? Actually, and this is a compliment to the Canes front office over the last 5, 6, 7 years. Every single unrestricted free agent that the Canes lost is making more money per year than they were making for the Canes. That's a sign. Like, that means you had all of those players, and actually Martinook as well, right? Because Martinook wasn't making $3 million. So every unrestricted free agent was playing like a higher value, was showing that their value was more than they were getting paid. Does that make sense? So part of what that is you have to pick the right guys to extend, the right guys to give deals to, and do it almost before they pop, right? Because if you wait until they prove that they're good enough, then you're going to have to pay them market value. So somebody like Jack Drury, I think you can lock up to a little bit longer of a deal for some cash that I think 3 or 4 years from now will look like a steal. They've done it time and time and time again. I don't think they've missed with Drury. I think if you expect him to be your second center on a cup contender, you're probably asking him to do a little bit too much. But if you're asking him to be your fourth center on a cup contender, I think you're going to be very pleased with the results. So I'm liking Jack Drury's chances of getting a deal.
All right, cop or drop. By the way, because he's restricted free agent, he's arbitration eligible, there's not as much pressing need to get the deal done now.
True.
But it's like, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and get this thing done.
And it helps with cap management and everything else. But you're right. If you have other pressing needs, you call up Jack's agent and you go, hey, listen, we'll get to you. Don't fret. Enjoy the holiday. Don't let him play with fireworks.
Cop or drop, Martin Necas will be with the Carolina Hurricanes at the start of training camp. Cop or drop?
I'm copping now.
Yeah?
I don't know if you can find a better scorer out there. And I don't think you can just get rid of a scorer that you need because he's a little disgruntled. This is where, like, hey, you know, all that big money you just gave Rod Brindamore?
Mm-hmm.
That 5-year extension?
Yeah.
Here you go. Manage the locker room. Disgruntled second-line winger who thinks he's a second-line centerman, who's going to be on the second-team power play, who thinks he should be on the first-team power play, and his dad is upset on interviews. Get the team together. Make them run, make them skate sprints until they love each other, right? That's how it works in every sports movie, right? You just condition them until they all are brothers. I guess that's the move, right?
Miracle. Just blow the whistle again.
Yeah, I mean, every movie has like the other teams might be better than us, but they will not be in better condition than us. And then you just run and run and run and run and run, and then by the end, everybody likes each other. Maybe you just got to do that. You got to get Martin Necas out there conditioning with the squad, and then he's going to like being around them again. I don't know how the team needs scoring. Martin Necas, for his gifts and his flaws, he brings some scoring pop. You can't just get rid of that because of, X, Y, and Z. So I think he's going to be on the roster for game 1.
That makes sense. Well, actually, speaking of that, I mean, it's about that time.
Okay.
Oh, but we thought I was going to break some news here?
Speaking of that,
And
then I saw you. I didn't realize how close it was to Storm Tracker, so I saw your eyes go to the part of the board where you play the sound effects.
Oh, yeah?
I was thinking breaking news sounder was coming.
No.
Speaking of, I'm like, did I just give a whole soliloquy about how Martin Necas is going to be on the team game 1? Speaking of that, so anyway, there you go.
Speaking of Martin Necas, this actually comes from Frank Saravalli, Daily Faceoff, discussing different things involving the NHL. Frank Saravalli on Daily Faceoff earlier was asked about, because with free agency already taking place, a lot of big names have already been signed. Pretty much all the big names have been signed. Now it's mostly like bottom of the line guys. Still like Vladimir Tarasenko's floating around out there. A couple of names, but really that's about it. But there's some names, for example, like Mitch Marner from Toronto, Jacob Trouba from the New York Rangers, Patrick Laine, Nikolai Ehlers, Martin Necas. These are some of the big names that are on rosters that might get traded that we've heard about so far this offseason. Frank Saravalli was asked, of those guys that he just mentioned, who do you see possibly maybe having a resolution at the earliest? He says probably Martin Necas, saying, quote, probably Martin Necas. I wonder, though, if the Canes now circle back to Necas and they didn't spend a ton of money and obviously didn't keep many of their big guys, referring to free agency. Big hits with Brett Pesce, Brady Shea, Jake Gensel, all gone. Does that mean you try and bring Necas back? I think it's a fair question to ask.
I completely think it's a fair question.
100% agree with it. And guess what? You can always tell Martin Necas, hey, look, we'll send you the qualifying offer. Play out this season. You're an unrestricted free agent, which means you might get contract year Martin Necas, which sometimes guys contract year, that's when they tend to ball out because they want to get that big deal.
I'll also throw this out there. You might change like the relationship dynamic by the fact that all those guys are gone and you didn't trade Martin Necas, right? Like sometimes you just need the act of showing someone like, no, we do think you're good. Like we really value you. You can go to Martin Necas and say, listen, like Gensel's gone. Somebody's going to have to take those shots. We think it's you. Now, I don't know if that's 100% true, but, we're talking about how to sell a player on being excited to come back. And he might be like, I thought you guys didn't think I was worthy of. I thought you guys didn't think that was my role. And it's like, well, you're still young. We think there's something there. There's that relationship could change based on the fact that he is still around, right? Especially if, and I don't know if you actually do this, but you might hint at it. If you want to take the chance, because this could blow up in your face, let him know some of the things you turned down for him. Like I don't think you, Martin, Mr. Necas, if you're nasty. I don't know if you understand how much we value you. We were offered blah, 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 and we didn't even think about taking that. Now I know you want to get out of here, but that's how highly we think of you. Right? And I don't know what that offer is. I don't know if there was some version of a fourth overall pick offer. I don't know if there was some version of a 10th and 11th plus 10th or 11th pick overall plus other offers. I don't know. But like you can let somebody know you value them while they're upset with you, and it might just tilt things a little bit. Right? Sometimes all it takes is like the visit to, right? Wherever he's at, go knock on the door, right? I just read about the Klay Thompson courting deal because obviously with the Warriors, and he's now with Dallas. Is the Dallas front office now run by Trajan Langdon? Am I making that up?
It might be.
Whoever the GM is, I figure like it'd be a fun fact if it's Trajan Langdon because he's a Duke guy. Whoever it was, they went to Klay Thompson. They went to the Bay Area and met him at one of his favorite restaurants to talk about bringing him to Dallas. Sometimes, like, just with effort and showing somebody that they matter and they care, you can build a relationship. So with Martin Necas not feeling the love from the Canes, maybe this offseason is one where they do show him the love, right? We kept you. We moved on from Brady Shea. We moved on from Brett Pesce. We didn't match Jake Gensel. Steph Nason is gone. Teuvo Teravainen is gone. We still want you to come back to this team. Is a heck of like a statement. So maybe there's some relationship rehab, couples therapy that they could go mess around with.
Possibly. Like, hey, look, let's just make this work for one more year for the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
For the kids. Then, we can part ways.
Yeah, let's save up. I think we can pay the house off in the next year.
Yeah, let's do it.
Make everything a little bit cleaner, right? We can make each other some money, wait for interest rates to come down a little bit, sell for a little bit more. Like, by the way, I don't know why I think the only thing that matters in a divorce is like the house, but I've never been through it. But if you are if you're Necas and you're the Canes, you can treat it like a mercenary. You can say, like, listen, let's put up with each other for a year. We need goal scoring desperately. You score a bunch of goals. That'll make you more expensive on the free agency market next year. We'll let you walk to go get your big, big, big deal, and that'll give us some time to figure out what else we want to do with that forward position. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
So you can almost go two ways. You can shower him with love, or you can shower him with logic. You can either shower him with like, no, we do care about you, we want you around, or you can shower him with, you don't like us, we don't like you. Let's stop pretending and just do what we got to do for a year so we can part under better terms for both of us.
Hey, score a bunch of goals for us this season. We'll win games, and you'll cash out big.
With every goal you score, stare daggers at us and go, see, we'll eat it. We'll love that bit of vitriol you're sending our way.
Every goal is this.
Yes.
Every time you score, we'll play this sound effect for you before we actually play the goal scoring sound.
How funny would that?
That would actually be funny.
That and then a horn would be
exactly.
fantastic.
Literally just go.
Oh, it'd be so good. So good.
That'd be wonderful.
This is just a business partnership. We're not friends. I would love it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a feedback frenzy coming up, but first, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. I was taking the motorcycle out today, took it around here to work this morning because the weather's finally feeling nice. It's not super hot and humid and all that. So taking a ride here today, and sure enough, I'm sure everyone's encountered this, not just necessarily on a motorcycle, but just driving down the road. You encounter that distracted driver, the person that's texting, looking on their phone, swiping a little bit, maybe scrolling through things. Well, guess what they weren't doing? They weren't paying attention. And sure enough, I'm grateful that I was, because someone decided to float over into my lane. But I knew exactly how to evade that person. I was paying attention. But I also knew if I ever was injured in a motorcycle accident, Law Tigers was going to be there to back me up. If you're ever injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, a feedback frenzy. Some of your favorite comments on Canes and everything else going on coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
Here's the thing. The Hurricanes knew Jake Gensel's ask was 8 years, $8 million per for a while. It took them all the way to Thursday to go, okay, and by that point, it's too late. The market's about to open. Teams have already called to be interested, and that's how Tampa Bay steps in and swoops up Carolina's big prize.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
What are you doing? Eating caviar. Yuck. Get this. Supreme 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have the best odds to win $400 with a $4 million top prize. So I'm learning to enjoy rich people stuff.
Okay, let me try. Gross. What's next?
Ballroom dancing.
I'll lead.
New Supreme 7s, a shot at supreme riches. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Are you looking for a place to take the whole family? Somewhere affordable that provides a ton of entertainment and good food? Well, let me let you in on a little secret. You can get all that and more at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. They have something for every member of the family. Let the kids play in Woolly World and meet Woolly Bull, and the adults can grab a tasty craft beer. Plus, you don't want to miss their unbeatable fireworks shows. Go to durhambulls.com/tickets or call 919-956-BULL today.
Spectrum Internet has enough speed to handle all your needs, so you can work, game, and stream with speeds up to a gig. Plus, Spectrum's advanced Wi-Fi provides enhanced security for all your connected devices. Get Spectrum Internet with fast and reliable speeds, starting at just $29.99 a month with a 2-year price guarantee. Visit spectrum.com/internet for you for full details. Offer subject to change, valid for qualified residential customers only. Restrictions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Dave Doran and the NC State Wolfpack have somehow turned their buzz, turned their sizzle into an offensive version of that. For so long, it's been winning with defense. It's been Tony Gibson, their defensive coordinator, Peyton Wilson. Well, now they can't turn away wide receivers and running backs from the recruiting and transfer portal. Maybe it's a new Dave Doran. Maybe offense first.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Get ready to unleash your potential this season. Your Wake Forest Pure Hockey store has inventory of the top gear arriving from now through year end. Pure Hockey, your ultimate hockey headquarters.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Tuesday. Feedback Frenzie is a Tuesday thing we do. Dennis peruses the internet for all of the comments you have on conversations that we've had over the last week or so. And he brings out some of the best, some of the most thought-provoking, some of the most controversial, some of the most comments just the most comments from those avenues, and he brings them up and we respond. Dennis, what do you have?
All right, so this actually comes from our YouTube live chat. We talked about during Copper Drop, is Jake Gensel going to get booed out of the building on October 11th? Exactly. Well, MP says, I'm saving my biggest booing for Eric Holla.
Okay.
Not Jake Gensel. Hey, Eric Holla is still public enemy number 1, and that's okay.
Well, that is what I said. I said I think there's others that could take the biggest boo, but you still boo Gensel. All right, I'm Canes Nation and I seeing eye to eye right now, and I like it. We are on the same, at least we're in the same book. Maybe not the exact same page, but we're in the same book.
Well, it doesn't mean the sentiment for Jake Gensel isn't there. This actually comes from the conversation we had yesterday. Was maybe some tampering involved with Carolina losing Gensel, which, by the way, real quick, tampering in the NHL, it's happening everywhere. It's amazing how when at 12 noon on Monday, then at 12 is when free agency starts. Then at 12:01, all these deals are apparently agreed upon. Like, really, y'all did that in 60 seconds?
Here's the hard part, though. It's so hard to prove because
exactly.
We actually just learned today. Sean Walker, who was on the show earlier, that brand new defenseman for the Canes, signed from was on the Avalanche and Flyers last year. He has the same agent as Jacob Slavin.
Mm-hmm.
So the Canes were completely within their legal right. Like, if they play everything by the book, they can talk to that agent as Jacob Slavin's agent. But they couldn't talk to that very same person about Sean Walker until 12 o'clock July 1. How in the heck are you going to prove that, right? They jump on the phone to talk about Slavin, which they should, right? That's one of the most important Canes who was eligible for an extension come July 1. So, of course, they were like, yeah, let's talk about Slavin. And then if they just start generically talking about defense, right? Like, how does this conversation go?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you want to sign my client, Jacob Slavin, one of your best players, to an 8-year extension? Great. As his agent, I need to know, who do you plan on putting around him? Because I want to make sure he's in a good situation, for an 8-year commitment. That, as Jacob Slavin's agent, that's what I need to know. And they go, well, we're very interested in Sean Walker from Colorado, but we're not allowed to talk to him or his representation until July 1st.
It's like, well, we might be interested in bringing in a player that may have played on a Western Conference team, then was traded to an Eastern Conference team that midseason then got traded to a Western Conference team that's a right-handed defenseman that's a good puck mover for somewhere around the lines of 5 years, $18 million. We'd be looking at a player like that.
Yeah, if
they were available.
And Jacob Slavin's agent should know who the other defensemen that are signed to 5-year deals are going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just good agenting. Even if he wasn't Sean Walker's agent, he should want to know that. So it's very, very difficult to prove tampering of any kind.
All right, so again, that comment from MP saying, I'm saving my biggest boos for booing Eric Holla, not Jake Gensel. But here's the thing. This is what Seth said on that same no, Seth on no, that would actually be funny. So Seth in our comment section said this 7 times 7, so 7 years, $7 million per year for Brady Shea is nuts. Pesce is going to age horribly. He was already not great this year at times. Gostisbehere Walker is half the price for not that much of a drop-off from them. Gensel screwed us 100%. He asked midweek. We met Thursday, shortly after midweek, and he balked. He balked it and ran away. I wish him nothing but the worst.
All right, few things. There's a lot in that
There's
comment.
a lot in there.
I like that
but
comment.
I love the end. Seth said, I wish nothing but the worst regarding Jake Gensel.
I like everything you said about the defense. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
There's no comments, no notes. The Jake Gensel thing is, though, like, if you are Jake Gensel, think about this, all right? And I'm not defending him. I'm just can I play devil's advocate? So this isn't me talking. This is me pretending to be the devil's advocate. If you're Jake Gensel and you're joining an Eastern Conference team, who's one of your top competitors for the Eastern Conference?
Canes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So is it not a little bit of, if I can mess them over on the way out, that's good for me and my team? If he's already decided he's joining Tampa? If it's like, yeah, let me make sure that they hold on to this cap space to sign me as long as possible, which puts them out of the running to do other things, and then I join Tampa and mess them over. Like, from a pure competitive standpoint, that's like kind of the move.
Maybe, but also put your agent in a bad spot, because if that word gets out there, I'm like, my agent's like, I got other clients and I got to work with every team in this league.
True. But he made $63 million, and an agent gets 3 to 5% of that.
Yeah, he's doing
so
fine.
You're looking at like $2 or $3 million. I'm not sure I'm worried about your reputation if I'm about to give you $2 or $3 million.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe a little more. What does that come out to, like 2.7 something?
A lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm worried. Like, oh, your reputation is bad? Cry into your Lamborghini, bud.
Yeah, exactly.
That I'm buying you. Do you have anything else?
I definitely have more. So you mentioned Sean Walker, the defenseman who we had on the show earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
That interview is already on our YouTube page, so you can check it out already. And actually, someone commented on that. Hayden said this. You asked him at the very end, like, hey, we've got a lot of colleges around here. You going to pledge allegiance to State or Carolina or Duke?
Yep.
And he's like, well, maybe March Madness time rolls around. Maybe I'll pull for UNC. Maybe I'll pull for the Tar Heels. And Hayden says, oh, no, Duke fans going to be upset.
Yeah, I would guess, like, if he stays committed to UNC, there will be a little bit of rivalry upsetness from Duke and also probably NC State fans.
Yes.
But like, Martin Necas is out there getting the crowd fired up at Carter Finley for NC State.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, like, UNC Cane fans are like, geez, I hope Martin doesn't score a goal in overtime. Like
right.
There's rivalries you can be, on opposite sides, but also have common stuff on other parts. What else you got?
All right, so final one here. We're actually going to go into just talking about the Carolina Hurricanes losing Jake Gensel as a whole. This is actually comes from Ian. Gensel just didn't want to play for this franchise. He wanted to be part of something special with Kucherov and Braden Point and himself, because that's hands down the best line in hockey. It would be like Kucherov, Braden Point, Jake Gensel. And I'm like, Ian, I think you're kind of right. Gensel, Kucherov, Braden Point down in Tampa, that's the best line in hockey. I agree with him 100%. And here's the thing. I could center a line.
Go ahead.
I could center a line with Kucherov and Gensel, and I'd be like a plus 30 player just for being out there. My slow beer league self.
I'm running through I'm not going to speak with definitive nature on that because I haven't done the full research, but I will say it's one of.
It's up there.
It's one of. But that's not fun to say. Half the comments are like, Jake Gensel, I wish the worst for you, and then there's one that's like, he's actually part of one of the best line in hockey.
Yeah.
One of those things is not like the other. That's not very fun.
I know.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was a feedback frenzy. And right now, it's a frenzy about Window Nation. I'm Tim Donnelly for my partners at Window Nation. You know what I like about Window Nation? First of all, when it was Justin coming into my house from Window Nation, if it's Justin for you, you're lucky because he's comprehensive and extremely trustworthy. But when they came into my house to give me a rundown on what they can do for my windows, what I loved about it is they are, and Justin was, window experts, right? They don't walk in like, hey, I saw your yard out front's a little dry. I get the landscaping crew in here and your front porch, looks like you could use some power washing. And, we'll walk through your kitchen on the way to the windows. Look at that. We can put new counters in because I'm going like, are you really the best at all of that? Are you the best at all of that, or are you just like a jack of all trades, master of none? Window Nation is great at windows, right? The example I've used a few times is, you can walk into a place that has like an encyclopedia for a menu when you're ordering food, or you can walk into a place that has like 3 items, but they are fantastic. Window Nation does windows. They are experts. Their installers are experts. The people at the factory are experts. The people that run the company are experts. The people that come in and talk to you about what your house needs are experts. Trust the experts. Give them a call, 866-90-NATION. They have a deal going on right now. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free. Plus, pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. Give them a call, 866-90-NATION, or you can visit them online at windownation.com for window experts at Window Nation. Again, that's windownation.com. Starting 5 is coming up next.
Move your sports day forward.
It's okay to drive an old car. I have one. It's a 19-year-old car. But what do I do when I catch a nail? I just go get the tire fixed. What happens when my oil runs low? I just put new oil in. I don't go out and buy the new car. But maybe it's time for this team in this offseason to go buy the damn new car.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. Based on the classic movie, follow Crash Davis and his Durham Bulls story in a new genre. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
Is foot pain keeping you from living the life you love? Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet Store, and life is too short to be living with foot, knee, or back pain. When all 4 arches in your feet are supported, the results can be amazing. Go to goodfeet.com to make your appointment today.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, You can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
The Adam Gold Show.
Here's the thing. The Hurricanes knew Jake Gensel's ask was 8 years, $8 million per for a while. It took them all the way to Thursday to go, okay, and by that point, it's too late. The market's about to open. Teams have already called to be interested, and that's how Tampa Bay steps in and swoops up Carolina's big prize.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and get you back on the road in less time than it takes to get over from the express lane to the exit ramp. Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Temperatures rose today, but it still felt good with that low humidity. Tonight becoming partly cloudy, 65 the low. Hotter tomorrow, the 90s return. A little bit more humid, the high 92, 98 for the 4th of July.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 162 points today to 39,331. Market update brought to you by Gregory Pool Equipment Company. Gregory Pool Equipment Company is hosting a hiring event at their Barrel Road location in Raleigh, July 13th from 9 to noon. Paid training and a generous benefits package. More info at gregorypool.com/careers.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five. And as always, we start with number 5. We set up number 5 in the starting five to be, what did the Canes do on day 2 of free agency? Well, still waiting. The
day's not over yet.
Day is not
over yet.
Off season really just begun. Yesterday, Eric Tolsky, the GM, speaking with the media, did remind everybody that the entire off season is not July 1st. And he was resisting the urge to splurge. And he pointed out that a lot of teams regret hasty decisions being made the first day of free agency. So there is, and I'm not saying it's not a frustrating element, but it's not wholly a bad element. There is a definite commitment to patience from the Hurricanes front office. So I think what we're going to have to refrain from doing is expecting things, right? Last Friday before the draft, we expected big trades. We expected maybe a big signing. None of that happened, right? First day of free agency, we maybe expected a splash to be made with something. Instead, players just kind of left, and a lot of conservative, safe contracts coming in. There's a danger in expecting anything when, the what's the cliche? Like, sometimes the best decision is no decision. I think the Canes very much lean into that of, right, it's you can always make a move tomorrow if you don't make one today. You don't want to box yourself in at all. So what did the Canes do on day 2 of free agency? There's a temptation to say, nothing. They didn't do a darn thing. All these other teams out there making their teams way better, and the Canes are just twiddling their thumbs. But I'm going to answer the question in a different way. What did the Canes do on day 2? Exhibited restraint. Showed patience. Didn't box themselves in. Right? I think it's a conscious, like, part of their personality, a trait that they value to, it's like this. Here's maybe the best way to describe it. In the draft, right? And this goes for any draft, NFL draft, NBA draft, NHL draft, fantasy draft. There's 2 ways to do it, right? One, you draft for need. The other, you try to be patient and let the board fall to you. That means even if you need a quarterback, you're not drafting a quarterback if a quarterback's not there, right? That's where the Canes live. The Canes live in, sure, we might need a goal scorer. But if there's no goal scorer that we think is good and valuable out there, we're not just going to pay the closest thing to it. We're not just going to go, well, they don't have what I want, so we'll give you some cash. They're just going to rather be patient. Which, by the way, if you've ever done like curbside pickup for groceries, sometimes the replacement is not nearly as good as what you ordered.
Yeah.
Or even if you're a dummy like me. When my wife was pregnant with my son, this was years ago now, she, one of those pregnancy cravings, she craved roasted red peppers on a sandwich.
Interesting.
Just, who knows?
Okay.
So I went to Wawa, right? And I ordered off the little touchscreen sandwich, right? Threw everything on there, roasted red peppers. And the person behind the counter flags me down and goes, sorry, we're out of roasted red peppers. Would roasted veggies work? In my head, I'm like, would she know the difference? Yeah, throw some roasted veggies on there. Came back. Apparently, she was having a pregnancy food aversion to the rest of the veggies, and was not what she was hoping for when he came back. And for anyone that's ever been there, little emotions. But that's the Canes will not get caught going, you don't have a top line goal scorer? Fine, give us the roasted veggies. Like, what's the closest thing you have to it?
It's all good.
Then it doesn't work for everyone. Some ways, and this is the type of analogy you only get on this show.
Mm-hmm.
The Canes are like my wife when she's pregnant.
Okay.
That's the only place you'll get an analogy like that, I promise you.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
That's number 5. Yeah. The only difference is she already had the ring. Da-doom.
Canes have one.
That's true, too. That's true. And she only has one, and hopefully that's all she's ever going to have. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
USA Soccer, men's soccer.
Gosh.
Got some explaining to do. They lose to Panama the other day. That just feels like shouldn't happen.
One of your best players. I'm just going to just hit this guy in the back of the head for Panama.
And then you
get
lose to
straight red carded, play the rest of the game, player down. Still had a 1-0 lead.
Then you lose to Uruguay.
1-0.
What's going on here?
Great question.
What's going on here? And I do not pretend to know the ins and outs of soccer. If you want those, Adam Gold hosts a show right before this, big soccer fan. That would make more sense. What I understand is something I like to call population totals.
Okay.
And I can Google with the best of them. Right now, according to Google, the United States of America has a population of 333.3 million people. We're talking 1/3 of a billion.
It's a lot of people.
Uruguay has 3.4 million people. We shouldn't lose to Uruguay, or I don't know how to pronounce it, no disrespect intended. We shouldn't lose to somebody that has 1% of our population. Because the argument always is like, well, it's not our main sport. We don't put our 1%. Does 1% of America care about soccer? 1% of our sport. If 2% of our sports-loving people in America care about soccer, that's twice as many people as Uruguay. We shouldn't lose to them. I wish I had more details of they need to push into the attacking half more often and their possession on the back line isn't up to snuff. I don't have that. I'm very much like the CEO of a Fortune 500 company going to an individual franchise and going I just need more sales. I don't know what you're doing here. I don't know how it runs. I don't know your little processes.
Just want results.
I need results. I need more money coming out of your franchise. I need more wins coming out of USA men's soccer. You should not lose both. You should not lose either. Darn sure should not lose both. You have more players playing in Europe. You have more, excitement and money and all these things that are going on with your team, and I get it.
Apparently have all this up talent, this reinvestment in talent and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, but you still, the result hasn't changed.
What are we doing here?
I think it's also frustrating looking at the U.S. men's national team and we look at the U.S. women's national team. U.S. women's national team just keeps kicking tail, they just keep crushing it. Now, granted, a lot of other parts of the world have caught up, but U.S. women's national team still overall crushing it.
Yes.
And then, U.S. men's national team, we've been waiting for decades to see something from them. And it's just what is it?
And
it's the same thing. They keep changing stuff, but yet the result doesn't change.
And I'm hearing, there's, the unhealthy part of, any franchise. Those are two really bad losses.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, again, I want to emphasize this because I don't want people oh, you think you're an expert. I do not. But I did see quite a few fans of USA Soccer saying this was a silver lining good thing because now the coach is going to get in the hot seat and they need a change. And I'm going that's such an unhealthy way to run anything. Hey, if we throw this, maybe we can vote him off the island. Terrible way to run the team. I hate all of it. I hate it all.
U.S. is lucky that, we're hosting the World Cup and we get an automatic bid in 2026.
We have to get our act together, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, 2 years. Figure it out.
Christian Pulisic, figure it out.
Hey, Captain America did his part.
No, he didn't.
I guess so. They didn't score yesterday.
You got to win the game. Again, I'm sure there's more nuance. Maybe he had a great couple of runs. Maybe he had a great cross. They didn't score against Uruguay.
So a game that you had to win. That's the frustrating thing. You knew you needed to win it.
You already lost to Panama.
Yeah.
That's the wake up.
You were rooting for Bolivia to beat Panama yesterday.
I bet if you combined all of those countries that we've mentioned, it would be like Utah.
Yeah, I know.
When it comes to population and size and all that.
North and South Carolina.
Yes. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
1, 2, 3.
This is more fun. Chris Paul to the Spurs?
Yeah, right?
Oh, $11 million deal for Chris Paul?
Look at him.
North Carolina's own, Wake Forest's own, Chris Paul. You know what this means for me, like as far as looking at what Chris Paul's got going on? Chris Paul is how old? He's got to be like 38, 39, something like that. He's got to be up there. Let me look it up real quick. I don't want to age him more than I have to. He's 39. He'll be 40 in May. You get to that age as an athlete. Actually, probably you get to like 6 years younger than that as an athlete. You start thinking about your legacy, right? You start thinking about how people are going to remember him. And you can ring chase for a legacy ring chase, right? I don't want to be one of the best to never win a title, so I'm going to go and join the Suns. I'm going to go and, bounce around, join the Warriors, bounce around a couple of these teams, try to ring chase. He's done that. Didn't work.
Gary Payton and Karl Malone joining the Lakers.
Yes, Tracy McGrady on the bench of the Spurs in 2014. Like I'm just trying to sneak one in here as a high five guy. Chris Paul tried that, didn't work. I think he's pivoting now to like people legacy. And what that means is he can impart some wise words of wisdom. How about that? To somebody like Victor Wembanyama. And then Victor Wembanyama is going to be good for the next 15, 20 years. And Chris Paul is going to have like that connection to the league that's still going on. I have two examples of this. One is my own personal example. My senior year in college, I was one of like the leadership council or whatever. So I got to help put the locker room together, like where everybody sat, right? And the quarterbacks were always next to the running backs. I took the red shirt running back who wasn't even going to play that year and put his locker right next to mine. And the reason why I did that was because I was like, that way this kid, 5 years in the future, because he's going to have his red shirt year this year and then play 4, is going to be on the team, and I'm going to still feel connected to the team. Like if I want to go to a game, there's still going to be someone that I know well, that I can dap up before the game and I can, talk to, and there's still going to be somebody that I'm like, yeah, if they win the national championship, I'm going to be like, I taught that running back everything he knows about our program. It gave me like 4 extra years of feeling connected to the program. Once he graduated, I didn't know anybody. Coaches had been turned over. Players were all gone. I could have walked into that locker room and they would have been like, "Who are you? Can't be in here, sir." And I'd been like, "I'm not a sir. I'm one of you." But that little legacy lasted me a long time. The second example I have is Dirk Nowitzki and Luka. Dirk Nowitzki and Luka with the Mavs overlapped for 1 year. Every time Dirk goes to a Mavs game, Luka like sneaks up on him and gives him a big hug, and they talk, and it's like, that's his connection to the next 15, 20 years of all-star games and elite play. Chris Paul is going to become like the Wemby guy, right? Have you ever seen Dan Orlovsky talk about Matt Stafford on ESPN?
Yeah.
Oh, he's the best player in the world. Well, guess what? Dan Orlovsky backed up Matt Stafford for a few years. They're pals. That's how he feels connected. Like, hey, I was on the bench, but I was behind the best guy in the world. He's got the best arm to ever grace planet Earth. Chris Paul, 10 years from now, is going to be on some LeBron-hosted studio show, and he's going to be going, Victor Wembanyama going for his 5th straight Defensive Player of the Year award. Here's what I used to tell him about guarding the pick and roll back in 2024, and he's going to be dining off that for a while as far as knowing current players. Good for Chris Paul, though. It's a good legacy to leave. Victor Wembanyama is a good one. As number 3, let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
The Canes released their schedule today.
Yeah, NHL released everything today.
Which, by the way, Dennis, I know you were down this wormhole.
Mm-hmm.
They've taken a page from the NFL and they do schedule release videos.
Yeah, so we saw the New Jersey Devils do one, the Carolina Hurricanes did one, like a schedule release video. Like you said, kind of going down that rabbit hole that the NFL has done. That team started to do, but obviously there wasn't 9 weeks of build-up like we saw in the NFL like they do.
The Devils one was good.
Oh, it was Dougie Hamilton, former Carolina Hurricane favorite.
Off of your recommendation, I did watch. He's got some sketch comedy chops. He's not bad.
So if you're a Canes fan and you loved Dougie Hamilton, which I know a lot of you did, go check out on the New Jersey Devils social media, their video of their schedule release with Dougie Hamilton. He's hilarious. He crushes it. It was funny to see Dougie.
Some dates worth noting, according to Walt Ruff of Canes team reporter, about the Canes schedule. October 11th is opening night. It's home opener. It's first game, and it's against Tampa Bay, Jake Gensel's return.
That's season opener.
October 12th will be the road opener. I don't know if no one really calls it a road opener, but they'll go to Tampa Bay to play that same team. October 15th, Brett Pesce, Stefan Nason, and the Devils, and Dougie Hamilton will come play in Raleigh. There's a lot of either revenge games or honoring games or those storylines right out the gate. They play the 11th and 12th against Jake Gensel. Then they play the 15th against Pesce and Steph Nason.
Yeah.
Different vibes, but same basic structure. Player leaves, playing somewhere else, coming to Raleigh. October 18th to 28th is the 6-game State Fair road trip.
Yep, State Fair road trip. A lot of Western Canada in there. Edmonton, Calgary, Seattle, Vancouver.
I feel like it might just be I'm bad with calendars. I feel like it was a little later last year. No?
That part was, yeah. So
Okay.
some of the other Western Canada or the other West Coast stuff like San Jose, the LA Kings, those kinds of games, those are actually going to be played still a little bit earlier in the year. They're getting most of the West Coast stuff done early in the year, which I'm grateful for. Like Utah, Vegas, Colorado. There is like a March.
Late games are late games to me. I don't care where they are. I hate
Yeah.
those 10:30 starts.
They're late no matter what. It's what it is.
Right about the new year, January 4th to 12th. That's a 6-game home stretch.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice spot right after the holidays. You kind of get back into the rhythm at home. January 30th, Teuvo Teravainen returns with Chicago. February 8th, Utah Hockey Club. Is that what they're going by this year?
Utah Hockey Club this season.
See, I don't like that at all because HC capitalized, Utah HC, to me is Utah's head coach.
Oh.
Like Utah head coach, blah, 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 blah. So I almost said like Utah head coach's first game in Raleigh.
Utah HC.
Utah HC's HC is their head. That's not going to work. So right after that is the Four Nations face-off break. Sebastian Aho will be playing with Finland. We don't know about the rest of the rosters. The top sixes have been announced. And then March 25th, Brady Shea comes back to Carolina as a Nashville Predator. Any other things you're looking forward to? Anything else missed? That was, by the way, a list directly from a tweet from Walt Ruff, team reporter for the Canes. Go ahead and give him a follow.
For those of you that want to boo Jake Gensel, Game 1, October 11th.
But also just celebrate the team for a start of a new year.
Let's start off petty. Let's keep that energy.
I don't hate an us against the world season.
Hey,
I don't hate an us against the world season at all.
Let's roll with it.
We could start that.
Yes.
They need a new hashtag, right? Because the cause chaos is done now, right?
Probably.
Something with us against the world. I wouldn't hate that.
Mm-hmm.
Raleigh against the world. Canes against the world.
Carolina versus y'all.
Carolina versus y'all. All y'all. Carolina versus all y'all. I don't hate that at all. All y'all. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one!
What's next for the Canes? Right? The storm, unintentional, but it fits. The storm has settled a little bit post-free agency. What's next for the Canes? I'll tell you what I hope is next. A plan to find some goal scorers. A plan to find some goal scorers. And also, I guess, and actually, let's just play this. This is from Elliot Friedman, national NHL reporter, on what the Gensel departure kind of means for the Canes and what they have to learn from it.
They may take a little bit of a step back. They have good prospects. And I wonder if in the future, like they look back and sit down how things went down with Gensel and say, and this is what another manager told me. They said, if you're going to have a player who you really want to keep, at the end of the day, you really want to keep, and you're going to have the negotiation go for a little bit, you better make sure that player wants you as much as you want them. Because if their mind starts to wander or people start to reach out to him and he starts to think, well, there's another team I might like out here, you're in trouble.
Do you know what I have a hard time with that? I can't see the Canes, specifically Rod Brindamore, doing that, right? I can't see them like, no, what we do is what we do. You're with us or you're not kind of deal, right? And I think that's part of what they are. Like, they're people that like the hard work. They're a team that plays a system, and I can't see them doing the, like, recruiting thing. You know what I mean? No, that's not to say, like, you're honest, right? Hey, Jake, we want you around. You're a great player, or whoever it is. Like, we think you could thrive here. We think you could do something special here. We want you around. That's not bend over backwards. I just can't see them going over the top, like selling themselves when it's like, no, we have too much pride for that, right? If you don't want to play with us, that's a you problem, because we bring something to the table. And I kind of like that about them, right? Like, you know, it doesn't really happen anymore, but it used to be you could recruit in, like, college sports by saying, this is what we do, right? Now you have to present a brand and present name, image, and likeness opportunities, and, this is how we're going to monetize your social media feeds, and, we can have you talk to this booster, that. But, like, now there's so much. But you used to be able to just say, like, listen, we're North Carolina basketball. We're Duke basketball. If you don't want to play with us, that's on you. And I do feel like the Canes have a little bit of that. Like, we win, we play hard, we work hard, we enjoy each other's company. I'm not gonna blow smoke up your you-know-where. I'm not gonna, hey everybody, we're gonna throw a party for so-and-so so they want to stay. It's like, if you want to go, kick rocks. Which there's something to be said there. Right? You don't get Rod Brindamore's defensive unit without getting a little bit of Rod Brindamore's attitude. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's a mean guy. I'm just, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group. If you know, you know. A similar thing here. Get your very own total and customized retirement plan. We know the impact of great coaching, which we just talked about, and what that can have in the sports world. And this holds true in the financial arena as well. You want to make sure you are working with someone you can trust, who wants to work with you, who can help explain your situation and the solutions that will benefit you. Why settle for a boilerplate, one-size-fits-all plan? That's not how life is. Your finances are different than my finances, are different than your neighbor's finances, are different than your coworker's finances. You have different wants, different needs, different priorities. So Coach Pete and the fiduciary planning team at Capital Financial can help you build that specific, customized, unique plan free of charge. You just have to let them know that you heard about it here from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan, and they'll do it for you free of charge. Call 800-691-3215 and say, I want the customized, I want the complete and total retirement plan, just as I heard about it from Tim on 99.9 The Fan. Again, the phone number to call, 800-691-3215, or text my name, Tim, T-I-M, to 600-700. That's Tim to 600-700 if you are texting. Right now, we have the numbers game coming up. We need a couple contestants. We have Totally Tubular Festival tickets. Red Hat Amphitheater on Saturday the 13th. So about 11 days from now, we have tickets to give away, but we only give them to the winners. And if you want to win, you have to play. You have to get into the arena for the numbers game. If you want to play, give us a call. We need two contestants. 919-860-5326. Open now, 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up.
Move your sports day forward.
It's okay to drive an old car. I have one. It's a 19-year-old car. But what do I do when I catch a nail? I just go get the tire fixed. What happens when my oil runs low? I just put new oil in. I don't go out and buy the new car. But maybe it's time for this team in this offseason to go buy the damn new car.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader. Together live, I Prevail. Hailstorm. July 9th, Coastal Credit Union Music Park, Raleigh. With special guests, Hollywood Undead and Fit for a King. On sale now at livenation.com. I Prevail, Hailstorm. Part of the Mattress Warehouse Concert Series.
What are you doing? Eating caviar, yuck. Get this. Supreme 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have the best odds to win $400 with a $4 million top prize. So I'm learning to enjoy rich people stuff.
Okay, let me try. Gross. What's next?
Ballroom dancing.
I'll lead.
New Supreme 7s, a shot at supreme riches. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Are you looking for a place to take the whole family? Somewhere affordable that provides a ton of entertainment and good food? Well, let me let you in on a little secret. You can get all that and more at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. They have something for every member of the family. Let the kids play in Woolly World and meet Woolly Bull, and the adults can grab a tasty craft beer. Plus, you don't want to miss their unbeatable fireworks shows. Go to durhambulls.com/tickets or call 919-956-BULL today.
Join us. Wake County Public School System is hiring bus drivers, mechanics, and instructional assistants. Experience what it's like to be inspired every day as you drive our community's kids to and from school, maintain and repair our yellow buses, or support our great teachers out in the classroom. We offer competitive starting salaries, top-notch benefits, and many ways to grow in a positive, welcoming environment. Driving skills, mechanical skills, and kid-friendly skills are all welcome at Wake County Public School System. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net and explore an exciting new role with us.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
On average, people spend over a third of their life sleeping, yet most sleep disorders go undiagnosed.
I'm Megan Gigling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sleep struggles left untreated can lead to health problems and have a serious effect on your quality of life. We've served the Triangle for 20 years. Let us help you get the sleep you've been dreaming of.
If you're in need of a sleep study, a knowledgeable doctor, CPAP machine, or supplies, Parkway has you covered. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Dave Doran and the NC State Wolfpack have somehow turned their buzz, turned their sizzle into an offensive version of that. For so long, it's been winning with defense. It's been Tony Gibson, their defensive coordinator, Peyton Wilson. Well, now they can't turn away wide receivers and running backs from the recruiting and transfer portal. Maybe it's a new Dave Doran. Maybe offense first.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We have David in Raleigh and Dylan in Raleigh on the line getting ready to battle it out in the numbers game for a little Totally Tubular Fest tickets. We'll go to the winner. Festival at Red Hat on Saturday. That is the 13th of July. We'll start with David. Question to see who goes first. And actually, I like, Dennis, you just get to keep being the judge here, so listen.
Okay.
David, this is my last show before the 4th of July, so I'll ask you, what is your favorite part of the 4th of July?
Favorite part of 4th of July is making good old-fashioned hamburgers and hot dogs. And this year it will be sending hate mail to Jake Gensel. That's my favorite thing to do on the 4th.
All right, I like it. Maybe playing a little bit to the judge. That's smart. We'll go to Dylan in Raleigh. Dylan, same question to you. What is your favorite part about the 4th of July?
Aside from the grilling, definitely cornhole tournaments.
Cornhole tournaments, another good one. Dennis, your thoughts?
I mean, David kind of did play to my heartstrings there just a little bit.
If he must have been listening to the show earlier. He knows you're ready to boo Gensel. So David gets to go first with the Gensel quip. Dylan, don't worry, though. You'll still have your time, your chance to win the tickets. You'll just have to sit on hold a little bit here. All right, I'm now looking at our list. Dennis, it's not updated, correct?
Oh, no, it's getting there. Don't you worry.
Okay, all right. The categories.
Things are a little slow. The internet kind of did go out for a little bit earlier today.
I was going to say, we could just do 2 categories if you want.
We could do that.
We'll just do this. We only have 2 categories here because things are being sorted out. So the categories you get to choose from. Actually, we'll go with 3 because he's working hard on one of them. We'll go NFL from nature. These are all NFL players whose names have something to do with nature. We have NFL Carolina Panthers. That one's self-explanatory. Or NHL Canes and Whalers only. That is also self-explanatory. So instead of 4 categories like we normally have, today will be 3. And the choice goes to David and Raleigh. David, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, you get to pick from those categories: NFL from nature, NFL Carolina Panthers, or NHL Canes and Whalers only.
Let's do NHL Canes and Whalers.
I like it. The way this works, I'll give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. Even though we do know the team, I will still say it to keep it fair with the other categories. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. You have 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No question.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Jordan Martin of Carolina Hurricanes.
18.
Incorrect. Antti Ranta, Carolina Hurricanes.
31.
Incorrect. Jordan Martin of Carolina Hurricanes.
34.
Incorrect. Antti Ranta, Carolina Hurricanes.
32.
Correct. Sammy Kapanen, Carolina Hurricanes.
18.
Incorrect. Jordan Martin of Carolina Hurricanes. Good effort. I heard you. I heard you. The effort there. Martin Nook with the Canes wears number 48. You got Ronto with number 32. Kapanen with the Canes wore number 24. But you did get 1. So you know 1 is better than an offer. So you'll sit on the line. A tie does go to you by way of going first. So we'll see if it holds up. But you know, obviously there's some chances for Dylan here to get the win. Dylan, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, you have 2 categories to choose from: NFL from nature, all names that have something to do with nature, or NFL Carolina Panthers.
Hey, let's keep pounding, man. Let's talk about these Panthers.
All right. The way this works, I will give you the player and the team. Actually, I didn't have to say the team in this one because the both categories didn't need them, but I will say it because I said it for the last contestant. So I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You have 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope, let's do it.
All right, you need 2 for the win. So 2 is the magic number, but keep going. Try to get 5 if you get there. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Cam Newton, Carolina Panthers.
Number 1.
Correct. Deontay Foreman, Carolina Panthers.
Ooh, 15.
Incorrect. Jonathan Mingo, Carolina Panthers.
81.
Incorrect. Deontay Foreman, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Greg Olson, Carolina Panthers.
88.
Correct. Jonathan Mingo, Carolina Panthers.
Say 17.
Incorrect. Johnny Hecker, Carolina Panthers.
9.
Incorrect. Deontay Foreman, Carolina Panthers. So Foreman really threw off your rhythm. I feel like if Foreman wasn't there, you would have had a better run at it. But Deontay Foreman wore number 27 with the Panthers. Had a nice little run there. Jonathan Mingo, number 15. You said 15 for Foreman. You never came around to say 15 for Mingo, but that's the number he wears there. And Johnny Hecker wears number 10. But Cam Newton and Greg Olson, you got them both, number 1, number 88. That was enough for the win. So congratulations. You win the tickets to the Totally Tubular Festival at Red Hat on Saturday, July 13th.
All right. Sounds good, man. Thank you.
Of course. Go ahead and sit on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to get from you to make sure that you end up winning the tickets and getting the tickets. We talked about this earlier briefly, but I just want to give another shout out. We don't talk a ton of Hornets on this show. Basically, I just don't think there's that much interest when they are how they are, which is not very good, not very interesting. But I want to give a shout out to Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker is an unlikely superstar, but 4-time All-Star, leading scorer in Hornets history. For those of you that Sporkle, and if you don't know what that is, it's like this trivia online site where you can pull up basically just trivia lists and play like kind of a bigger edition of like Family Feud, and you can compete against your friends and stuff. Kemba Walker is surprisingly high on a lot of lists when it comes to NBA stats, where you're racking your brain going like, who could have that many assists? Who was the 7th leading scorer in 2014? And it's just like once you hit Kemba Walker, you sound so proud of yourself. But now I've given you one of I love that sounder. Now I've given you one of the answers, though. You're going to hit it, and you're going to be excited when you get that answer right. So shout out to Kemba Walker. He retired officially. It's been a while since he was an impact player in the NBA, but when he was a big-time NBA player. And I believe he goes into all of the Ring of Honors and everything for the Hornets.
He was the face of that franchise for a long, long time. The face.
And, the pressure that's on a player like that. Obviously there's pressure on, Steph Curry and LeBron to go win titles. There's a different kind of pressure on someone like Kemba Walker, who for 5 years knew if he didn't have a great game, they didn't win.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, if you show up and you're just not feeling it, team loses, and probably by a lot.
It's I got to put up 25 tonight.
LeBron has a rough first half. Anthony Davis steps up, and then maybe LeBron can just play great in the fourth, and everybody forgets about the first 3 quarters. If Kemba Walker didn't play a great game, the Hornets just lost. It was just... Michael Kidd-Gilchrist wasn't bailing him out.
No, he was not.
So that's a different kind of burden to bear for your team. So I give Kemba a lot of credit. I just want to do that real quickly here on a Tuesday. Right now, I want to do this. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. One of the things I love about being we all appreciate this. We're all part of a community in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's the sports teams that we enjoy, the hobbies that we like. We're all part of a different community in some way, shape, or form. And that's something as motorcycle riders, we're all part of that overall community. We all get on the road, we ride our bikes. And it's fun being part of that community because you ride by other riders, you get a chance to talk to them, whatever it might be. And being part of that community is special. So if you are, for example, ever injured in a motorcycle accident, it's nice knowing that people from your community are there to back you up. That's where Law Tigers comes in. Law Tigers, they're motorcycle riders just like me, just like everyone else that's out there on the road on 2 wheels. They are motorcycle riders too. They're part of your community. So if you're ever injured in a motorcycle accident, give Law Tigers a call first at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Because, again, insurance companies, they just want to pay you the least amount of money possible. Law Tigers, like I said, they're riders too. They know what your bike is worth to you. They know what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and they don't get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll talk a little bit about last year's Panthers. That's not fun to talk about, but hey, we're talking about it through the lens of Dave Canales, who actually, we found something he's not optimistic about. Stick around.
The Adam Gold Show.
Here's the thing. The Hurricanes knew Jake Gensel's ask was 8 years, $8 million per for a while. It took them all the way to Thursday to go, okay, and by that point, it's too late. The market's about to open. Teams have already called to be interested, and that's how Tampa Bay steps in and swoops up Carolina's big prize.
The Adam Gold Show, weekday starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry, in the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Ready to unleash your full potential this season? Then head to Pure Hockey. We've got inventory of the top gear arriving from now until year end. So don't miss your chance to score the best selection of sticks, skates, and gear for on or off the ice. At Pure Hockey, you'll also experience industry-leading personalized skate fittings with the newest in advanced 3D scanning technology. So get ready to dominate in the newest skates for the season. Plus, our rewards program is unbeatable. Head to your Wake Forest Pure Hockey store plus 2 other nearby locations and start earning today. Pure Pure Hockey, your ultimate hockey headquarters.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
Batter up! Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Duke University's Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. Based on the classic movie, the film's original screenwriter Ron Shelton has adapted the story for the musical, so you can follow Crash Davis's Durham Bull story and his romantic love triangle in a new genre. The perfect blend of comedy, drama, and steamy romance. Get your tickets for Bull Durham, a new musical, today. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's hot out there, and your inefficient windows mean high utility bills all year long. Window Nation sells some of the most energy-efficient windows you can buy and was recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 windows free, plus 0 down and no interest or payments for 2 years. Stop paying more than you have to. Schedule an in-home estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Move your sports day forward.
It's okay to drive an old car. I have one. It's a 19-year-old car. But what do I do when I catch a nail? I just go get the tire fixed. What happens when my oil runs low? I just put new oil in. I don't go out and buy the new car. But maybe it's time for this team in this offseason to go buy the damn new car.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I was like, oh no, what happened? This next bit of audio we're going to play for you is nothing we haven't said before. It's nothing that hasn't been said time and time again. Last year's Panthers offense was not good enough, right? Some people blame Bryce, meaning Bryce Young, the quarterback. Some people blame the offensive line. Some people blame the wide receivers. Some people blame the coaching staff. Some people blame a little bit of everything. Some people blame probably that like the moon and the stars weren't aligned correctly. They're astrology people.
Tepper.
So a lot of people blame Tepper. Some people blame Cam Newton, I'm sure. I don't know. He just tends to get in the crosshairs occasionally from certain fans. It's who said it that I think is interesting. Dave Canales, the head coach of the Panthers, since he took over, man, that guy is relentlessly optimistic, right? He's I've used this example in the past, but he is like the personification of my high school coach that used to walk outside every day, take a deep breath, and go, it's Seahawk football weather. We could walk, there could be a foot of snow on the ground. Seahawk football weather. It could be windy, it could be raining, it could be sunny, it could be 110 degrees. Seahawk football weather. That's kind of Dave Canales, right? He's the guy who, when somebody gets hurt, he's like, man, I just feel for that player, but it's an opportunity for the other guys on the roster to get more reps in practice, and I'm excited to see what they can do.
I feel great about playing football right now.
And that he could, like, if he said that at 2 a.m. on Christmas, I'd be like, you know what? I think he wants to go play football. 2 a.m. on 4th of July. I think he'd want to go play football. So he was asked, he was on Peter Schrager's podcast, and he was asked about last year's Panthers offense, and did he watch it? Did he study it? What were his takeaways? Here's Dave Canales.
If we can just play good football, the side stories, the headlines will write themselves, but can we just get our football right? And that really was just a reflection on, like, it wasn't the greatest brand of offensive football.
Mm-hmm.
There were things up front, there were things schematically that we needed to work on. And that wasn't to NFL standard, and certainly not to Carolina Panthers 2024 standard.
That is the equivalent of most people, like, throwing a table and screaming curse words at the top of their lungs. Dave Canales saying it wasn't the greatest brand of offensive football is like an all-time tirade.
Let me translate. They sucked.
But normally it's like this is why I was caught off guard, because Dave Canales is usually this guy. What I saw was a good group of hardworking individuals that cared, that didn't end up getting the results that they desired. No, he was like, it wasn't up to NFL standards, and it wasn't up to the 2024 Panthers standards, and it wasn't the greatest brand of offensive football. So for the guy that normally is saying, today's practice wasn't, we worked hard and we had an excellent goal in mind that we weren't able to achieve, but still took steps in the right direction and eliminated some. The fact that he was just like, nah, they were bad is jarring. And it also, I think, is Dave Canales maybe setting expectations. Maybe he's like, I don't want people to think they were a better team than they were last year, because that's gonna reflect on me, right? Let's be aware of where our starting line is. Is kind of what I think he's doing now, right? It's not, well, they're all great players. They're just being used incorrectly, because that implies you're going to use the great players like great players, and now it's going to be a big jump. I think he's, for the first time, going, you know what, let's temper expectations a little bit. Last year, they weren't even playing NFL football. So this year, we're just gonna get back to neutral here, and we're going to consider that a win. Offense not being up to NFL standards. That's like, where's Thomas Brown and Frank Reich? How's that burn feel?
I mean, get no lies detected here. That's the thing.
Again, and that's why I started with this. Has been said time and time and time, and
Yep.
we've said it time and time on Panthers Playbook, the podcast hosted by Dennis Cox and Chris Lee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming it's been, I haven't listened to them all, but I've heard it enough times to say time and time and time again.
Yep.
It's just unusual to hear Dave Canales go that way, right? Because Dave Canales is relentless optimism. Like, I'm very curious to see what Dave Canales is like at the post-game presser after they lose 3 straight games. And by the way, I'm pretty confident they're going to lose 3 straight games at any point in time, at one point in time. Right? I'm hoping it doesn't happen too often. I'm hoping they sprinkle in the wins, but there's going to be like a tough month.
Oh, for sure.
And I'm very curious to see what Dave Canales is like in that post-game presser. To see if it is, no, we were bad, or to see if it was, we're a good group of guys working together, moving forward, and we're learning. And every loss is a learning experience. And Bryce isn't going to make that throw next month because he got caught trying to get a little greedy this. Like, I want to hear Dave Canales get mad. We all have those friends, don't we? The ones where it's like, whoa, did Dave just snap? I've never seen that before.
Hey, hold on here.
Oh my good. Should we stop him? I don't. What do we do here?
Are we okay? Is everyone okay?
Like Dave Canales kind of strikes me as that guy where it's like, whoa, what's going on here?
I think that's also. I think there's actually something real with that. Is that when he does snap, people are going to listen, at least in the locker room, because he's so positive and by all accounts, what we see is just who he is, even in the locker room and in meetings and so forth. So if he ever does, let's say, snap at practice or something like that, or in a team meeting, people are going to feel it in some way. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is how I feel now. I'm like, whoa, he really thought they were bad last year.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
He didn't twist it optimistically. He really thought they were bad. Like, he uses it carefully, I would assume. Mm-hmm. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we wrap up, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Loan Pronto. If you're a veteran, listen up. Did you know that you can access up to 100% of your home's equity right now? You can do it with Loan Pronto's VA Equity Advantage program. You can get 30, 50, 100 grand or more and use that money to pay off all those credit cards and personal loans, car loans, or maybe use that cash to do that home improvement project. Veterans love working with Loan Pronto because they make it easy. No junk fees, no hassle. They can unlock that cash and your home's equity in a matter of weeks. Don't keep paying insane rates on credit cards. There's a smarter alternative with Loan Pronto. Get more info and start the process now at loanpronto.com. Or if your current VA loan rate is over 6.5%, Loan Pronto can get you in a streamlined refinance with a lower rate right now with no income verification and no appraisal. Lower your monthly payment big time. Loan Pronto makes it so easy for veterans. Call now, 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. Again, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm out of town for the rest of the week. I'm going to enjoy the holiday. Hopefully many of you will as well. Be safe out there. Dennis and Graham will be taking you the rest of the way, so enjoy the show. You're in good hands. But at the same time, seriously, everybody, I know 4th of July is a good time. Safety and celebration and family and all that kind of stuff. Until Monday, when I will be back, have a great weekend. And follow us on YouTube, 99.9 The Fan, live stream, videos, comments, subscribe, feedback. It's all up there. Overdrive is coming up next with some more Canes talk and our conversation with Sean Walker from earlier. Once again, I'll see you on Monday, everybody.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Dave Doran and the NC State Wolfpack have somehow turned their buzz, turned their sizzle into an offensive version of that. For so long, it's been winning with defense. It's been Tony Gibson, their defensive coordinator, Peyton Wilson. Well, now they can't turn away wide receivers and running backs from the recruiting and transfer portal. Maybe it's a new Dave Doran. Maybe offense first.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Prescriptions require an online consultation.